Hello everyone, Derek here from Get Lost Trails. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am coming to you from sunny Southern California, transiting through the dunes here over to Tecate to head on to Baja. In this video, you'll see my journey over 16 days and 2,650 miles to the tip of Baja and back, nearly the distance from New York to Los Angeles. Over 800 miles or 1,300 kilometers of this route was off pavement. Along the way, I faced challenges, setbacks, and unforgettable moments. While I completed most of the route I planned, there were a few times I had to detour due to conditions beyond my abilities. I'll share both my struggles and my triumphs and try to convey the incredible hospitality I experienced throughout the trip. I travel alone, which is simply my preferred way of doing things. Many people, including myself after my first attempt, would say it's unsafe to ride solo here. That's only true in one sense. The environment and terrain are unforgiving. The journey can be long and demanding, but the scenery is breathtaking, the cultural experiences are meaningful, and the riding is deeply rewarding. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy the journey. Drove right in, very confused about what I was supposed to do, as usual. I don't know if I was supposed to go in there and get that paperwork done before I drove across, or what, or if it really matters. But we got it done, despite my Spanish and despite his English. The first order of business is to run by the Telcel place and see if I can get my Mexico phone to work. I have an old SIM card from the last time I was here, which I have kept activated on and off so that it would hopefully still work, and I've recharged it and it don't work. It was a fiasco, as to be expected, I suppose. I think my other card had went dormant, even though I have reactivated it on and off. I just went ahead and bought a new SIM card and a new plan from that lady. She was very nice and helpful, and of course she didn't speak English and I don't speak Spanish, and we had to work through Translate, and it's not worth messing with. For basically $20, 338 pesos or something, I got a new SIM card with 11 gigabytes of data, which is just kind of a backup. It's nice to have it. I don't know, my AT&T phone should roam on Telcel, but I just feel better having that as an option. Next stop is the grocery store and the ATM. All the errands out of the way, except for gas. Gonna get some gasolina. Got some groceries, got some pesos, got my paperwork taken care of. Got my arrangements for tonight done. I did those before I left this morning. We're gonna be staying at a ranch just outside of Tecate, Rancho Alpino. Gasolina all done. Bienvenidos, welcome to Ruta del Vino. Is that the wine route? I'm not sure. Anyway, headed out of Tecate here. Quite a relief for me to be getting out of town. I'm not much of a city person anyway, a little chaotic, and Mexican town, border town, very chaotic for me. Although it's a quite small town, really, as far as border towns go. It was probably a really smart decision of me to come in here versus going into Mexicali. Okay, I need to see whether he messaged me back and said close the gate or not. Having a hard hard time getting in neutral. No, it's okay. I'll close it later. Okay. And hello, how's it going? Made it to my accommodations for night one here. Now, this is pretty bougie. I have this whole guest house to myself, full kitchen, this large dining room area, or whatever you want to call it, and then this porch area out here. I was just planning on camping, but the ladies that run the place were like, why don't you just stay in the guest house, no extra charge. It's gonna be pretty chilly tonight. And by pretty chilly, they mean like in the lower 50s or upper 40s probably. So it was nice of them though. And I only paid 150 pesos. Well, no, they wanted 150 pesos. I went ahead and gave them 200 pesos just for the generosity of it. We're talking about $11 to $12 anyway. Brought all my panniers up. Probably don't need everything that's in them, but it's just easier to grab them and bring them up here. I can sort out what I need. Cooking supper. Whatever this piece of steak is, I got at Cali Max. I don't know. Some sort of beef. Should cook pretty quick. It's very thin. I'm sure it's probably meant to be like cut up and made into fajitas or something, or for tacos. It's about 1800 hours. It is dark out. January. The days aren't super long. Looks like it's supposed to get down to around 50 or something tonight. We'll see. Gonna figure out my sleeping arrangements in here. There's no bed, but there's a cot thing I could use, or I can throw my mat on the floor. Well, good morning from Tecate. This was the sleeping arrangements for last night. I drug this cot in here, put my mat and my sleeping bag on it. Just went with that. The sun is officially up outside. It's 6:45. You can't really tell it. There's a chance it's gonna be a little bit overcast today. What we shall see. Gonna grab me some quick breakfast here. I just have some bars and made some tea and stuff. And then we'll be packing up and heading on, continuing south. I am about 6 miles, 10 kilometers outside of Tecate now. It's 110 miles down to Villa de la Trinidad, and then like another 25 miles onto my Sky Ranch. So that's 135 miles if that were my destination, or about 216 kilometers. Departing from Rancho Alpino here, had a pretty nice stay. Certainly can't complain for what I paid. Good little option here just outside of Tecate for you, for sure. Just a quick distance back to Ruta 3 here. We'll be back on track, headed south. Continue on that, not too far. Be jumping back off the pavement. Pretty nice day out so far, a little overcast. It is 9:45 here. I did not get a very early start. I was packed up and ready to go, and then my phone rang and I spent an hour on the phone. Just a few miles at most on Highway 3 there. We're off the pavement for the next 67 miles, about 107 kilometers. Working my way through the remaining residential area here, kind of having to take it slow and pay attention to my maps. There's quite a few offshoot roads. Kind of finally starting to get away from some of the houses, although it never ceases to surprise me that there's one more back in here. I mean, this road must go somewhere. I mean, it's not super crazy, and it probably doesn't look that bad on camera, but it's quite uneven. Of course, it's got loose stuff on top of it, and we're going into pretty kind of tight turn there. So, you know, we're already getting into some not crazy, but at least what technical type riding here early in the day. And this is probably not even the difficult part of the journey, but we're jumping right into it, getting the real full Baja experience. The valley here is quite pretty though. Definitely just ranching country back in here. Somebody's hand guard. Sights like that are always reassuring. Burned out car shell. Oh goodness, this looks interesting ahead of us. I guess it's not bad, it just looks steep. But this is sandy. It's very steep. Overall, the road was pretty good, carried on like this for quite a while. Hard packed stuff, a little loose stuff on top. The main thing you got to watch out for are washouts, whether that's ruts in the road, low side washouts, or places where water crosses. Making progress here. I'm slowed down at the moment because we just drove past a house, and behind me there is some giant building hanging off of the cliff, like random. Like, what is that? About all you see as you pass through here is ranches. But like, yeah, what is this huge building over here? I mean, that's interesting. I don't know. Found the first bit of real loose sand here. So it's almost noon. There's some sort of cafe here. Like, are they open? I don't know. The guard dog's coming after me. It's ripped its chain off. The sign says they're open over there, so I don't want to camp, but they do offer camping here. Now, I actually had this place marked. Hey. And they don't look very open, though. I meant to get strawberry jam, and I ended up with strawberry and hibiscus jam because I just saw the picture of the strawberries on there and grabbed it. And of course, I can't read what the bottle says, but it's all right. Little PB&J to get me by. I've made it about 30 miles in the past 2 hours. That's not very good. Needless to say, we need to make a little more time than that. I said I had all the time I needed for the journey, and I mean, that is true, but I gotta do more than 15 miles an hour on average. One thing you really do need to keep an eye out for out here is other drivers. They're not always the most attentive. little bit of change of scenery here. Got us some conifer trees, some pines of some sort. Soil is still quite sandy though. Making a little bit of progress than we were earlier. Just past the road grader. I did not get that on camera, but as you can see, part of the road's been graded, and I need to get off of that because that is just far worse than driving where it hasn't been, because the problem with the grader is just a bunch of loose stuff, and then of course a bunch of fill and everything. And now I'm in some, oh god, I gotta get a, maybe I'm gonna have to get over here, but boy, this is squirrely. It's just like everything here is dead. It's kind of eerie. Oh yeah, so much fill. Oh god. Eventually we're going to make it back to Route 3. We're still a little ways from that, but once we do get on that, that'll take us on into a town where we'll get gas. And then after that, it's like 25 miles or something on over to Mike's Sky Ranch. Getting passed by some guys. First bikes I've seen. Coming back to the pavement here, this is Mexico Route 3. My phone is estimated arrival at Villa de la Trinidad at 1500 hours. It's currently 14:15, so 45 minutes, 67 kilometers down there. Coming into some village here, De la Independencia. You can see the federales over here to our right. Lots of them. Coming into town here, for the sake of simplicity, we're going to call it Trinidad. Right on the edge of town here is the Pemex, which will be our first stop. I guess it's not a Pemex, but whatever it is. I don't know if they have premium gas. I don't think they do. We'll take whatever they got. Got to go like that. It's tricky.
Listo.
Gracias.
Pulled
up there. Only regular gas, but little Husky will do her. I think there's probably a taco place here somewhere. We can grab something to eat real quick. Here's the grocery store. Gonna swing in there. We're gonna get some water. These water stores are the cheapest place to get drinking water, and if you can't find one of these, some of the grocery stores will have a water filter station. Water for nothing. I tried to pay him, wouldn't take any money. He just said it didn't amount to much. Let's go see if the taco place was open. It said open on the sign. So I think this is a taco place, but then I'm confused because it looks like they sell animal feed. So maybe this is it. Oh yeah, that place does sell animal feed. This place sells tacos. 80 pesos. Got some other Hellraisers over there. Well, this might be a mistake. It's 1600 leaving Trinidad, continuing towards Mike's Sky Ranch. It's like a 28-mile track over there. The segment south of Trinidad that I'm on here towards Mike's Sky Ranch has actually been more fun than anything I've ridden all day. I'm losing daylight fast, but it is a nice, really flowy road and pretty smooth. There's like enough sand in it. Now there are some rough spots, don't get me wrong, but overall it's pretty smooth. Going up an elevation here towards Mike's Sky, which is gonna make it for a cold night probably. I mean I have the gear for it. Oh god, this road's not very good right there, is it? I might break down and get a room. It's gonna have been quite a long day for me, and I need some solid rest tonight. And even though I was inside last night, I didn't sleep that good. I think a lot of it was just a lot of things on my mind. Still a couple miles from Mike's Sky. Road got kind of gnarly. Like, I don't know, is this the main way there? I'm not really sure, but we're making progress. It's what am I, 27 miles is what I've been from town since I got fuel, so I should be just a couple miles, which is good because it's gonna get dark. But we'll be there before it gets like pitch black or anything. It probably looks lighter on the camera than it really is. God damn, it can't be a mile, can it? 1.3 that says. Maybe about the only one here. Is that gonna fit up there? What's
a room?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Made it to Mike's Sky Ranch about dark. Went and had supper. That is included with the room rate, and it should be for 2,000 pesos, which is roughly $112, $114. And breakfast is also included, as well as the heat, which is much appreciated tonight, and the agua caliente shower here in a little bit. Normally, if the weather was better, I would probably just camped, but I was tonight. I need some quality sleep tonight, and sleeping out on the ground. And it's going to be relatively cool. I think we are at like 3,000, 4,000 feet elevation. I need to check, but we're not at sea level here. Here's the bathroom. It does also have a light. You can see it's, you know, acceptable, I guess. I mean, there's no lid on the toilet tank, but whatever, you know. The guy can't be too choosy out here, I'll tell you that. Leaving Mike's Sky Ranch behind us there. See if we can figure out how the hell to get out of here. think there's a road that goes this way. No, I don't think this was the road. But we're gonna have to make it work. Oh, it ain't gonna get any better either, is it? Oh, shit. Boy, this is a real way to start the day, isn't it? Oh, God. Oh! We're gonna be in the here. Oh, I don't know what the best way is. Right up that, I guess. I'd be lying if I said this wasn't quite an intense start to the day. Oh, God. Ugh. Please tell me this is gonna get better. It ain't getting better. Oh, I ain't gonna make that. Oh, God. Okay, I think now it's time to assess again. Good news is we get the kickstand down. That's super bad right through there. Yeah. Is now the right time to admit to myself I'm having a few regrets. I don't know. Carrying the luggage up this because I think I have a better chance of making it. Oh. Okay. Somehow we made that. Mother of Jesus. Making it up that was probably nothing short of a miracle for me. I'm not a skilled rider. This bike's heavy, which of course, taking the panniers off and walking those up, I'm sure was a very smart decision on my part. Had a little rest there. Took the opportunity to fly the drone. Just to, first of all, get some aerial view. Second of all, to give you a little bit of context. And finally, for me to preview the route a little bit, although it's kind of hard to tell on that small phone screen. Honestly, it doesn't look like it's getting any better right away. I mean, yeah, this looks great right here, but yeah, around the corner there's some bunch more steep stuff, some stuff that's washed out for sure. Looks like some people have maybe made some alternative routes. which hopefully aren't as steep, but still it looks pretty iffy. After looking at what was ahead of me, I had to make the hard decision to turn around and find a different way. I just didn't think I could risk pushing through this by myself on this bike. Now that I got up this, I got to turn around and get back down it. Oh, God. Nope, that's really not a good place for the bike to die. Oop, okay. Yeah, we might just be, I should have brought my luggage because now I'm gonna have to walk back and get it. This is not how I really wanted to go down it, but hey, if it's what gets me down it in one piece. I guess we're ready to work our way back to Mike's Sky Ranch here. Hopefully it's navigable. I mean, I came up it, but you know, now I wouldn't say worn out, you know, but certainly takes a bit of a toll on you. So let's work our way back out here and find a different route. Oh, we're already going for a ride. Oh, God damn it. I don't really want to slide my whole way back because we know that won't work. Come on, Derek, you got to get up on the pegs. Oh, but Jesus, a little more slow. This is gonna kill all morning finding this out, but that's part of the adventure, I guess, right? Oop. Look how close we are to the ranch. Alrighty, there's the damn ranch. That's what we spent all morning leaving. And I'm back here in what? I don't know, 15 minutes, something. Hola, question. Ruta es muy mal. You speak English?
A little.
The road, this.
Oh, it's good the road. No.
No. Muy mal.
Un moment. Ayer, el día pasado, atrás, three person. The motorcycle, the 1,000 is go.
Yeah. This.
Yeah.
Muy mal.
That's
No.
good.
Do you know this?
Oh, no, eso no. No. You no puse aquí allá.
No pass. No. Yeah. So the word is we need to return to Trinidad. Yeah. No go on that other road, he says. So yeah, we'll go out the way we came in, I guess, and figure out plan B. Alright, well, according to him, we were on the Baja route, and it's good. It's not good. I think there's another road that goes from Trinidad to the west coast, but I don't know anything about it. Retracing our footsteps from last night here for a little ways. Once we get up here, I think we're gonna shoot off on another road though. Take us over to Route 3, Mexican Highway 3, and probably go back to Trinidad, try to sort some things out. I mean, it's gonna be lunchtime next, which is crazy, and I'm thinking I'll just go back and get some more of those carne asada tacos because they were very good, and probably some more water because I've drank pretty much all of that. I do have backup water. This is actually quite sandy. Back to Mex 3 here, headed north towards Trinidad. It's like 18 kilometers or 11 miles. Back up there from the gravel. Back to Trinidad, gonna pull into the trusty taco stand. Oh yeah, the Pemex is open. I don't know if they, yeah, it is. Oh yeah. Well, headed towards St. Vincent, I guess, or at least Route 1. St. Vincent was kind of the closest town over there to where this road came out. Asked the guy at the taco stand if the road was good, and he said yes. He estimated that it was 100 kilometers and that it would take about an hour. Well, I mean, it's 78, almost 80 kilometers or something, so not too far off there. I have a feeling it's going to take more than an hour, but we shall see. Google Maps is sending me this way. This doesn't even look like much of a road. The guy said turn before the right before the substation, and I remember the substation from yesterday. Oh God. Well, I think this is, according to the guy at the taco place, this is of course not the way my phone wants to send me. He said come down to about the substation and turn right, and there's a sign there that says law something. I can't read it. It's covered in stickers. And I should probably just cancel whatever this is trying to do. Well, it didn't make the camera, but I went through a water hole that turns out was deeper than I would have expected, and it came up over the windshield. And yeah, all wet, but it'll dry. Blasted across the valley there for quite a while. Now it looks like we're getting into a little more mountainous terrain here. I'm gonna slow her down. Lots of curves. Haven't met a single person yet, but that doesn't mean you couldn't around the next corner. It has been actually, so far, knock on wood, we're still a ways from being where we're going, but has been actually a nice drive. It's very enjoyable on this bike. This is the kind of riding that that I need. You know, it's just, you don't need to ride the Baja, Derek. You're not cut out for it. That's okay. Hell, the regular roads here in Mexico proved to be enough of a challenge, I think. to the Pacific coast here. Making pretty decent progress overall, I feel like. Camino a Lázaro Cardenas is the name of the road I'm on. I'm not sure if that was the name of it the whole way, but I think Google Maps is actually going to get me there pretty good. Getting over to Mex 1 here pretty quickly. Been driving through some kind of like ranching or agricultural area. Not sure what all they're growing. These trees are hindering the view of the vines over there, so I assume that's a vineyard. Also, just looked like in areas there were rows of trees that they were growing. I don't know if they were nut trees or fruit trees or what they were. On Mex 1 here, headed south. Eventually we will be rejoining my track that I intended to be on. We'll be continuing on the west side of Mex 1 over on the coast side. Diaz or Daz, I think that's what this is. I don't know, just another little Mexican town here, but it is the town where we're going to rejoin our intended route. Just up here to our right. On course. Getting over here to what looks like should be the ocean. I don't know. Turn off that main road towards Cuatro Casas. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Four houses? I don't know. Not really sure, but that's the direction we're going. I don't know if the ocean's over here somewhere or not. We're about to find out. We've made it to the Pacific Ocean, the west coast on Baja California. Pretty view. Not the most lovely day at the moment. Quite overcast. Temperature's around 62 Fahrenheit. And it feels a little chilly, just I suppose the cool damp wind blowing in off the Pacific. But it's not raining, so we don't complain too much. There is a chance of that tomorrow, but let's hope for the best. We're gonna continue on down through here and see if we can find the shipwreck. I got so wrapped up in the excitement and the riding. I'm like, it kind of looks like it's starting to get dark out. And I'm like, oh it gets dark in 30 minutes. It's like 16:40 now. It gets dark at like 17:10 or something. So, yeah. This day is vanishing quickly on me. Supposedly we're coming up to this shipwreck thing, but I don't know where it's at. Through this gate. Yeah, through this gate, which is like there's gonna be somebody in there. Overnight camping, $10. I had read that you could camp here, and actually with the time of day it is, I might just do that. It's $10 or whatever that is in pesos probably. Not really sure where. That says no camping here. I see there's this pickup down here. Hello.
How are you?
Good. You guys look like you speak English.
We do.
You do.
More or less.
More or less. Awesome. Is this camping? Is this area out here supposed to be the camping, or do you know anything about it? You just rented this house probably.
No, yeah.
Friend that owns this house.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
camping runs from right about this boat. See this boat right here?
Uh-huh.
From there, the campground runs all the way down. We're about in the middle of it.
Oh, you're here.
And then it runs all the way down to a fence.
Okay. Who do I pay? They'll just come around.
Come find you
They'll find me. Okay.
like tomorrow or
Okay.
tonight or whenever.
Yeah.
His name's Ramon. He drives a little white car.
Okay.
He's an older man.
Cool. Are those toilets down there?
They are?
Yeah, these are outhouses.
Yeah.
And there's room, good room for camping there, and good room for camping here. Just kind of pick what you like.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw a tent up. So.
So, yeah, you might want to try find a place that's like that's off the ground.
Oh, we're supposed to get a rain tonight.
Or we have the bunk room.
No, I don't want to invade your space, my gosh.
Well, let's give you a tour.
It's more, I mean, because it's raining, it's crappy to
It'll be so easy. It's dry.
I mean, if you really don't mind, I
We
would
don't give a shit.
I would be hard pressed to say no.
No, that would be silly to say no. Here, you want to just take your motorcycle down the alleyway and hang your left, and I'll open the gate.
Open up
The gate.
Hey, these people are just gonna let me stay in their house. Oh my gosh.
We can offer you a bunk room, a hot shower, and a bath.
Oh wow.
So this is not operating.
That's okay. Yeah, no.
So we're a friend of mine from college. His dad built this. So anyway, you pick a bed.
Yeah, awesome. I think the best grilled cheese I've had in my life. Good morning here from the Pacific Coast in Baja California. Spent the night last night in this blue casita behind me there. I'm getting ready to head south, continue this trip. Although today I think we're going to take a little bit of a side quest up to a national park and observatory, or we're going to try to see what the weather's like. It does go up to, he said, 10,000 feet. My phone says the observatory is at like 9,000 some feet. We're currently at sea level. It is 55 degrees. The temperature at the observatory is currently -2°C, whatever that is in Fahrenheit. I don't have tons of heavy clothes because I was not expecting to be at altitude, but I'm sure it'd be a cool ride. It's like 70 some kilometers up there, I think. No, it's 117 kilometers, sorry, like 77 miles, maybe a couple hours each way. So it is gonna take all morning to do. And it is almost 10 o'clock again. Not getting the earliest start, spent the morning visiting. Yes, thank you guys very much for all your hospitality.
Very welcome.
It was very generous of you. Yeah, what's that?
You got your card?
Yeah, look me up if you want to see how the trip went. If you ever end up in Montana for some reason, holler at me too.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Thank you. See ya. Thank you. Hola. I pay for camping. Hola. I stay in casita, but I pay.
No,
Hey.
no más dame 100 pesos.
Huh? Gracias. Thank you. San Pedro Martir is where we're headed now. That's a national park, or the equivalent of that here. There's an observatory up there. The elevation is like 9,000 feet. It is a paved route up there, so there should be no problems. maybe take a couple hours each way. I don't know. It's 117 kilometers from where I was at there, which is like 75, 80 miles, something like that. Observatory is open for tours from 10 to 1 and 2 to 3, 10 to 1300 and 1400 to 1500 every day except Wednesday. First order of business for the day will be fuel. Now we're going to go inland east towards San Pedro Martir. My phone's saying it's 100 kilometers up there, and that's what that giant sign says as well. Estimated to take a couple hours one way, so yeah, this is going to be a majority of my day probably. It's going to be a great view when we get up there, I can already tell. We're at 3,800 feet. This picturesque spot here is known as the Condor Viewpoint. You can't tell for the fog, but there's a derelict building right over there, and I don't think we're going to see any condors today. Coming into what looks like a registration area here, I think, probably where you pay the fee. Looks like it's been increased to 65 pesos from 50. I guess we'll just pull in. Say what? Just me, yes.
You're gonna count or you're gonna?
No, I'm just gonna drive up to the end of the observatory and come back.
The observatory is closed.
Well, that's okay.
You're gonna find that gate there, the highway.
Oh, no problem. Is the observatory closed for the season or just because?
Yeah, for the season.
Okay.
In winter and storms and everything.
16 kilometers to the observatory, but we can't go that far, he said, because there's a gate. So I guess we'll go wherever we go and turn around. But it is really cool up here. I mean, this would be a great place to come in the summer. I guess this is the end of the road. That's unfortunate. We're at 7,800 feet. We were, I think, probably the highest point we got to down there. I think we were probably at the highest elevation at the entrance station for this, maybe 8,000 and something. So, yeah, well, if you want to go to the observatory, which was something I was actually kind of looking forward to, you want to make sure that it's open and don't necessarily believe their website. It did say they were closed the last 2 weeks in December and the first week of January, and we're past that. I thought I seen an animal over here, but it might have been a dog. It was a dog or a coyote, but I don't know why there would be any dogs. Picnic table is under a little shelter here by the museum, so I decided to pull over and make me some PB&J and hot tea. Not gonna get fancy with lunch today. Yeah, I know tortillas would travel better on the bike, but especially for PB&J, I prefer the texture of bread, even if it is a little smashed. And it actually surprisingly survives pretty well. Back to Condor Viewpoint here. You can see much further now. I don't know that we're going to see any condors today. I don't know if they're here year-round or seasonally or what. They are, of course, very big birds if you aren't familiar with the condor. So, while I have never seen one, I suspect I would know if I do. I don't see anything. Back into the Pemex. I don't know that I would have had to have gasoline, but I went ahead and got it just in case. And also I wanted to ask if he knew anything about the roadblock, and he did. He knew the roadblock was still going on, so he suggested that I go around it, which I already knew to do. Let's see, trying to follow my tracks back here. Back to the Pacific Coast Drive here, I guess we could call it. That seems like a fair description. On course. Headed back to Mex 1 here, away from the shore there. I don't think we have a choice. My route goes this way, but I think that's because the road vanishes from the shoreline there. So gonna go over here, and hopefully we've made it around the roadblock situation. Coming into Camaloo here, we're gonna take Mex 1. It's 16:40, 20 minutes till 5 p.m. here. My plan is to get off and get back on the coast route and continue on down before I get into San Quintin. I may just buzz down, take my chances on the highway, try to get to San Quintin so I can get someplace to stay, because it's gonna get dark again. 20 kilometers or miles, I don't know. I'm not sure what the signs read out here. It's probably 20 kilometers to San Quintin. I like 20 kilometers better than 20 miles right now. Well, we're coming up to something. I don't know if this was the roadblock situation or what. I mean, the traffic is moving down to one lane. It's just like there's like police and like tents set up, whatever that's about. Maybe this is the strike thing. I bet it is. They're letting traffic move right now, probably because it's a prime time of day, I suppose, and I don't really know. I don't know that. I have no idea. I would hate to make assumptions. I don't really want to eat freeze-dried food, to be honest. Numero dos. Con queso, only burger. What's this? Ran into Carl's Jr. there and got a burger real quick. It's like 30 minutes till to where I'm going, so I'm just going to scarf this down real quick so it doesn't get cold. Oh, this is big and messy. And now it's raining and it's dark. And we've got 19 kilometers. Tonight's the night I should probably have got the hotel. What are we doing here? Oh god, this road turns. Pretty much pitch black out, as you can probably tell by trying to look at me. In front of me you might be able to see something. My headlight is okay, but not really very good. It does not shine very far out at all. We've got still almost 7 miles on this damn dirt road. Hola. Camping?
Sí,
Yeah.
adelante. ¿Es para una persona?
Yeah, sí. ¿Cuánto?
El costo es de 100 pesos por persona.
100 pesos. 100.
One person.
One. Yes. Okay. Sí.
Mi nombre es Marcos.
Marcos, I'm Derek.
Sí, mucho gusto.
Nice to meet you. Yes. This stuff could be. Oh. Made it to my destination. It was pitch black, and I got here just in time because the guy that runs it was about to leave. This is Barra de Piedra, which means the stone bar. And it's a seafood restaurant. I'm not sure. It's a good thing I didn't show up here and want food because I'm not even sure. I mean, there was not a soul here. He was about to leave, and I'm not even sure if they're cooking food, to be honest. But I heard you could camp out here. It was on my list of places. And I asked him, yes, of course, 100 pesos, which is like $5.50 or whatever, very cheap. And I know you can't see anything because it's pitch black, but there is a seating area covered by a tin roof, and then there's kind of a exposed patio. We're kind of up on a knoll here over the ocean. And he's bring moto out here, and I was going to set up out in the open, and he says, then he says, no, possible rain, and just set up under the roof. So I'm under the tin roof. Smart idea, very nice of him as well to offer that, because it's obviously just a seating area, but they were closing down, and I mean, they were closed. So I got my tent set up over here, brought the motorcycle under the roof, keep it dry. I mean, if nothing else, it'll just keep the dew off of it. I really don't look for it to rain, probably. I think that chance is pretty small, but you know, if I can keep everything dry, that'll make things a lot easier in the morning. So I've got all set up. Gonna settle in here. It's 1842, 6:45, and should be a nice, peaceful night. There's nobody else out here. I'm all by myself, and he went home. I thought maybe he lived here, but maybe he lives next door somewhere. He took off in his pickup, and yeah, all I can hear is the sound of some crickets chirping and the ocean swells coming in. Good morning, everyone, from Barra de Piedra here near San Quintin in Baja California. Spent the night camping here under the awning, or under the roof there at the dining area, I guess, because it is a seafood restaurant. And it was a pretty good night. I mean, I'm sure you can hear the ocean in the background. That is it right behind us there. Plan for today is to hit Mex 1 and continue south to San Ignacio. That's going to be a long haul. It's like 580 kilometers or 360 some miles. Estimated to take a good 7 hours, and I'm sure 8 time I do some rest stops and grab some lunch and stuff along the way. So we do need to pack up. We're getting a good start so far this morning, so hopefully we can keep the pace up today. If we don't feel like we're going to make it to San Ignacio for some reason, I do have some options in Guerrero Negro, which is probably 2/3 of the way there. So we're going to have some tea, have some breakfast, and hit the road. Just so you're prepared for the situation in places like this, you know, the fact that there's toilet paper is actually a pretty big surprise. Now, I guess it doesn't rain much. Leaving camp there. Got a long slog today on Mex 1. It's about 8 o'clock. In fact, it's pretty much straight up 8 o'clock. So if it takes 8 hours, we should be there by 1600. Get to kind of see what we came in on last night in the dark now. I guess this is, some of this is dormant volcano, maybe up here where the antenna towers are. Stuff, I don't know. It's kind of a interesting landscape. I was a little bit further out there last night than I thought. Of course, it seemed further in the dark too, I'm sure. But I would say all in all, it was worth it. Very fair price. I mean, to have the tables and the baños. The road out this morning doesn't seem as bad. If you're able to go 50 miles an hour on it, you can overcome the roughness of it. Cruising on down through here. Next stop will be on El Rosario. Gonna swing through there and grab gas. Right along the coast here again. I mean, as close as you can get on the highway. Not particularly an exciting drive, but certainly a decent road that you can make some time on. I mean, I'm going 65. You could easily go 80, but I'm not comfortable driving this thing quite that fast. So yeah, they don't really care so much about southbound traffic as northbound traffic. So we'll just roll right on through that. Coming into El Rosario here, we pulling into the Pemex to get fuel before we continue on south. Be a couple more fuel stops after that, and actually several opportunities for fuel along Mex 1 here. Most of these towns have fuel nowadays, but you don't want to pass up too many opportunities for fuel down here, that's for sure. So like, is that an old building or is that just a newer building that's never been finished? I always wonder these kinds of things down here. Hola. Premium. Full. Yeah. Card. In pesos. In pesos. Yeah. Gracias. As I was getting fuel there, it occurred to me that San Ignacio, which is in Baja Sur, is on Mountain Time. Baja Norte is on Pacific Time. I'd forgotten that. And sunset in San Ignacio is about 1800 hours, give or take. So I feel like we'll be doing pretty good on getting in there at an okay time. About 7 miles or 11 kilometers outside of Catavina to the north. I'm going through this really pretty area with this cool rock formations and these big saguaros. Huge variety of cactus. I mean, really, there's tons of different ones. Obviously, the saguaros stand out amongst them, but pretty neat area. And looks like there might be a couple of places you could camp if you wanted to, and it goes back in there a ways. I'm not gonna go deep into it. Well, maybe there's not a gas station here anymore. I don't have to have gas that bad. Stopped and did some math there. As you saw, the Pemex in Catavina is out of business. There was a gentleman there selling gasoline. The next actual gas station, I think, is at Villa Jesus Maria, north of Guerrero Negro. I think there'll be another truck selling gasoline at the intersection of Mex 1 and 12. At least there was last time I was down through there. That's a pretty major intersection. It's going to be really close to get to Villa Jesus Maria. Coming up at the intersection of Mex 1 and Mex 12. The gasolina truck is there. I'm going to pull over and make a sandwich. Although there is something here, a restaurant of some sorts, but maybe I'll go in and get something to drink or see what they got. Here at the intersection of Mex 12 and Mex 1, just north of Punta Prieta. Stopped to take a little break, make me a PB&J, and grab me a Topo Chico. 35 pesos, which is pretty much $2. We're still right on target to make it to Villa Jesus Maria, like just barely. Our fuel economy improved a little bit to almost 55 miles a gallon. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be close. Do we want to risk that?
Jesús María es cross, cerrado. En Jesús María no gasolina.
Okay. How much do you think you put in?
No marca. No más.
No.
Fueron como 6 litros, 5 litros.
How many?
O 7 litros.
6, 5, 7. Oh, should be good. 250. Well, I've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 7 liters of gas. The measuring seemed to be very much an estimate. 250 pesos. And so if I got 6 liters, that's like 40 pesos per liter. And it's normally like 25. But he said, I told him I'm going to Jesus Maria, and he said it's closed. So I would have been screwed if it was closed and I didn't get some gas. After that, the next gas stop is Guerrero Negro, and that's a little bit further on down there. That would have put me at 222 miles total on the tank from Rosario, and I don't think I could have done it. Coming up to another checkpoint here. This one actually looks like they're stopping people going this way, which was I not really expecting, but I guess we're stuck behind this damn truck, I suppose. Is there room to get around them or not? Back fairly close to the coast here, or the coast is getting back close to us for just a little bit. We're about 37 miles or 58 kilometers out of Guerrero Negro. The Gasolina man was not wrong. The Pemex in Jesus Maria is closed. I would have made it here. I'm at 199.8 miles, but would I have made it to Guerrero Negro, which is still 23 more miles away, 36 kilometers. We're here to Pemex at the border between Baja Norte and Baja Sur. They don't have premium, so I'll probably just go on into Guerrero Negro at this point. It's just a few kilometers in there, but we've used 4.16 gallons, which is more than 3.8, which is what the bike holds, so we would not have made it. Bienvenidos a Baja California Sur. Welcome to Baja California Sur. I think I'll just park right here on this edge. A little little light on the strawberries, I think. A decision has been made to push on to San Ignacio, another 147 kilometers or 92 miles. We'll be again approaching sunset, but I'd like to get over there. I'm just not a big fan of this town particularly. On the road again, I just can't wait to get on the road again. 626 kilometers to LaPaz, place we will be going eventually. This damn military checkpoint right before you get to San Ignacio, I forgot about it, or I would have passed this damn truck, because he'll probably get hung up in it. Maybe they'll wave me around, I don't know. We're very close. We're 4 miles, 6.5 kilometers from the campground that I'm going to, actually like a real campground this time. Hola!
¿Dónde viene?
Headed to San Ignacio.
San Ignacio, vacation.
Say
Vacation.
vacation, yes, see. Headed to Cabo eventually. Cabo. Thank you. We're gonna get in here before it's pitch black tonight, so that's always good. Now there's a few camping spots scattered out through here. Now the one that I'm headed to was rated pretty good. Had some pretty good reviews, so I think we're gonna go try it. It's closer to town. I'm thinking or hoping it's kind of within walking distance of town. I don't know. Oh hey, there's some birds out on the... We'll have to come back. Not tonight. Such a like pretty entrance to town. I think that just adds to the character of it. Periso, that's where I was headed. Looks like they're in the... Oh, wow. It is kind of a mud hole. Hola.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Camping?
¿Sí?
Just...
Your first time here?
Yeah.
It's 150 per night.
It's how much?
150.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
We have a hot showers, toilets, and Wi-Fi included.
Okay, cool. That's great.
And can you look around and decide your spot? I think it's better close to the community kitchen, next to this pickup with
Okay.
camper.
Yeah, okay.
Ajá.
Maybe drier.
Sí.
Yeah.
Otros sitios es.
Yeah. Okay. So just find a spot, kind of. I got here just before dark, and by the time I got my tent set up and settled in, the sun was gone. It's only a couple 100 meters on into town, so I'm going to walk into the square and find something to eat. Grabbed a spot on the patio at Rancho Grande. Certainly can't beat the ambiance of the place. Right here on the town square, right across from the Mission. Pollo tostados were pretty good too. They were 180 pesos, which is about $10. Well, good morning. Walking into town from the campground there. Glass of tea in hand. It's a little before 8 o'clock. Town's literally just right down here. What would become San Ignacio was discovered by a Jesuit priest exploring from Mulege in 1716. They saw an opportunity for agricultural production and to convert the native Cochimi people who inhabited the region. A mission was officially founded in 1728 with huts made of sticks and reeds. Eventually an adobe church was built. Construction on a permanent stone structure was initiated, but would only be completed later by the Dominicans in 1786, after the Jesuits were removed from the peninsula in 1767. The mission was abandoned in 1840 due to population decline of the indigenous people, attributed to disease, among other factors. The next route takes us down to San Ignacio Lagoon, and then over to Mulege via some dirt roads. But I forgot today was Sunday, and if you haven't been here, not much works on Sunday. And at the lagoon, I was going to see about doing a whale watching tour, but it's kind of hard to find out about that if their office here in town is closed. So I don't know if they even do tours on Sunday or they do nothing on Sunday. Not really sure. Well, I've been messaging the whale watching tour people all morning. They said no tour today. And then all of a sudden they say leave now, tour at 11. And this is probably 20 minutes ago because I had to finish packing. And also, I've got to run back out here to the corner to get gas real quick before I go down there. And I wasn't expecting to go today. I was going to spend another night there, but things changed very quickly. It's a good, they said an hour and 15 minutes down there, but I think that's in a regular vehicle, so hopefully we can half that. I don't know. It's going to be a real push. I don't know if we'll make it there by 11. We don't have time to stop and look at the birds because it's already 10:30. Passing through San Ignacio here. Mission there, pretty cool. We got to get down to the lagoon though. "65 kilometers. I need to do 120 kilometers an hour. That's not possible. It will be paved for just a little bit, but it ain't paved all the way. Luckily, it's been a pretty good road so far. Hopefully it doesn't turn to too fast. Sign said pavement terminates 500 meters. So we got 18 kilometers of unpaved road to get there. So yeah, this is going to slow things down a little because I'll have to be a little more cautious. Now, if you want to come do this tour, my understanding is they do take a van from town if you don't want to drive back here. Of course, this is my route anyway, actually, so I just wish I would have known that the tour could happen an hour earlier, and then I wouldn't have to push so hard. And also, like, yeah, I'm really not even sure if I'm gonna miss the tour, which I have not paid for it yet, so hopefully they'll just wait so they can get my money. The tour is 1,350 pesos per person. I think that's like $75 or something, maybe. Welcome to La Laguna. I'll have to get a picture of that after the tour. So we're basically here. I mean, we got to go down here just a little bit, and hopefully we can find it. I think it's just on down here. We're 20 minutes late. 20 minutes after 11. They said approximately 11. No sign, but I'm pretty sure this is it. The whale watching experience was pretty cool. We did get to see several whales. Nothing super up close. A little early in the season here, January 25th. Our guide also said that the numbers have been down due to cool waters. At the time, I believe there was about 13 or 14 females with 3 or 4 calves. It's about a 15-minute boat ride out to the grounds, and then you're allowed up to 2 hours out there, which honestly is plenty long at once, especially when there's not a ton of activity. Overall, I did enjoy it. The one thing to keep in mind, there is a minimum number of passengers for the excursions to happen. That was the holdup this morning. Luckily, though, they paired me up with a local family. Sun's going down over the ocean there. We're here at the Caima whale watching place where I went on the boat tour earlier today. I decided just to camp here, so I've kind of just relaxed this afternoon, and they insisted that I set up under this little area where they talk to the guests because the wind prediction is to be strong. I mean, it is kind of windy, but I wanted to camp right by the shore. This is all right though. This is probably a more sensible idea. So we're gonna have some supper. I've opted to just cook a little bit of Mountain House tonight. The fettuccine with chicken, which I've never had, so I was kind of craving it, weirdly enough. And I think it's gonna be pretty good the way it looks. I wasn't really in for the buffet again, so that's what we're gonna do. Tomorrow we will continue on to Mulege. It's pretty much going to be gravel all the way, I think. So I'll update you with the distances in the morning. Good morning from the San Ignacio Lagoon here. Got some tea brewing. The sun's coming up behind us. Going to be packing up and continuing on to Mulege today. We've already completed about 66 kilometers or 40 miles or so of the route from San Ignacio down here to the lagoon. And then from here, it's about another, at a minimum, 100 miles or about 160 kilometers, potentially a little more depending on exactly how we go over to Mulege. It's pretty much gonna be dirt, I think, most of the way. Leaving the Caima, I don't know how to say it. I'm sure you guys will tell me. A whale watching center here. One thing we can't afford today is really much backtracking, just due to the overall mileage and lack of gas between here and there. So hopefully the route will be passable. About 8:30 there, we left the lagoon. So I came to a fork back there. That road over there, you can kind of still make it out, as runs a little more inland. This takes me more back outside beside the shore. I think the inland route is probably potentially easier and safer option. It did rain a couple days ago, so I was warned that anything along the shore could be pretty soft. I feel like, though, maybe enough time has passed. Hopefully it's settled down a little bit. I don't know. Right now, this road here is pretty good. You can tell it's less traveled, but I was also hoping maybe it'd be less washboards. So this is just maybe like 5 miles more than if I stayed on that other route. Now, areas like this could be tricky. Luckily, there's been, it looks like, enough traffic on this to kind of pack it down. Yeah, that don't look good, does it? We've reached the point where we're gonna have to turn around, which sucks because I don't have a lot of extra fuel. So now we're going to backtrack to that more inland route. I guess I should have not taken a chance on this, probably. You can see the water situation just gets wider there, and this is the main route, and you get off of it and it's just totally like a grease ball. I mean, I don't know, maybe I could get through it, maybe, but it just gets, the situation gets wider once you get up around there a little ways, and you're getting farther off into this soft area. And yeah, and I'm not even to the coast yet, so the situation could just get worse. So I think I better turn around and go back to that other route. I'm not sure how far we went. Here comes some guys on light bikes that are probably going to go right through that. Made it back to our easier route here, the San Ignacio La Balena road, I guess it is. Hopefully it's better. It should be. It's stays more inland. Now I think we will jump down and take this side diversion here. Looks a little smoother. Now we did meet a group of guys on those enduro bikes or dual sport bikes, whatever really they were, I don't know exactly, but you see they probably didn't have any gear with them. I mean, other than water and stuff, of course, but not luggage anyway. So I'm sure they were going to blow right on through that. I don't think we'll be able to catch up with them or anything, because I mean, obviously, first of all, we had to backtrack. Second of all, they just generally are probably riding faster than I am. Now this route is a little shorter than going out to the coast, which is good because we wasted basically 16, 17 miles probably by going down in there and having to turn around. If I didn't know there was an alternative route that was likely to be better, I feel like I could have pushed myself through that. But again, it's like you're still in the unknown of what's next, because that route has a lot of additional coastal riding on it. So it could have just continued like that or got worse, or it could have been perfectly fine. You know, those are the things that just don't know. Passing across another low spot here. You can see they've actually built this road up. Now, it's rougher than hell because they built it up with a bunch of giant washed rock, but it'll shake the piss out of it. The road turned into like more of a crushed stone, which is much smoother, so I hope it continues this way. Here comes a local cowboy riding the range. I did pass a ranch back there. Oh, sorry. Scared his horse. They've actually built a little bit of a road here, which is, I feel, pretty unusual. I laid down a bunch of boulders, I suppose, dozed them flat as they could, and poured some cement over the top of them. Not very thick, because it's coming apart in places, but hey, A for effort. The coastal route that we were on earlier that we had to turn around on rejoins really the main road here, so that's where we would have came out had we been able to continue on that. So we're rejoining our primary route now, I guess you'd say, but it's really still just the road that we've been on. Coming into some sort of little oasis here. I have no idea if this place has a name. I'm sure it does. Interestingly enough, they seem to have electricity here. Here's a little government store, like I think it's where the locals can buy groceries. I don't know if they're subsidized. Oh, well, it's closed anyway. I don't think much is happening in this little village these days. There's the municipal power supply. Whenever it runs, who knows? Uh-oh. Was I supposed to go left or right? Yeah, this doesn't go anywhere. This dead ends in the river. The bread's looking a little more sad as the days go by. Stretch it back into shape a little bit. Luckily this stuff's got a lot of chemicals in it that make it surprisingly durable. It's very spreadable today because it's quite warm out. In fact, standing here in the sun, a guy could overheat, and this is January. So I would not want to be here in the summer. Peanut butter on one half. Gotta lick the spoon because we don't want to cross-contaminate. And chili the other half. The weird thing is I normally never eat peanut butter and chili on a regular basis. It's kind of a
Mexico motorcycle thing, because it's like literally like the only practical thing I can think of to keep, because it doesn't have to be refrigerated. I know you could do those packets of tuna or chicken and stuff. That stuff is so nasty smelling. It would make me vomit if I tried to eat it.
This could be much worse have they not dozed these boulders out of the way. But I guess it is some sort of road. What's interesting is that village had an airstrip, or it showed up on one of my maps. I don't know who's flying in and out of there unless it's some of Pablo Escobar's people. Sections like this, it just kind of shake you apart a little. It's not bad, like it's not like having to ride on baby heads if you've ever had that terrible experience. The rocks are pretty well set, so it's not like they're rolling around underneath you, it's just rough. Hey buddy, what's up? I don't have any carrots. Well, this is not good. My gas light's on, and we're still, quite a ways from where we need to go. Shut back off. I've used 2.95 gallon. I should still have a whole nother gallon, which I definitely need, because if my gas light is really coming on, it must have not got full or something. I mean, I'm still probably a good 40 miles, by air, from Mulege. My fuel light came back on. That should not be on. Once that comes on, I can maybe go like 20 miles. That's still going to leave me like 20 miles from Mulege in the middle of nowhere. So apparently, it did not get full at Pemex or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a false alarm, but I've had it come on because it splashes around, but the fact that it's went off and come back on tells me it's really on.
Do you have any gasolina?
No.
No more ranches, rancheros?
Sí, pero posible no gasolina.
No gasolina?
Sí, están próximo a Rinconada, pero no. Yo puedo posible 4 litros. You have internet?
No. No
I
internet.
have internet.
Oh, I'm okay. I was just doing some math.
This is 3 litros.
3 or 2?
I think
3. It's Trace.
¿De 3 no?
Trace.
Oh yeah. Sí.
If I can have 3, then maybe I make it.
3 is okay?
3 is okay, I think. See, you can't see it, so you don't know if it gets full.
Oh, okay.
So he just stick it in and it shuts.
It's broken or?
No, not they.
Oh, in San Ignacio.
San Ignacio,
Yeah, no.
not full.
Yeah.
You saved me.
Maybe in the future.
No, it's okay. I pay you something. It's at least.
No, that's okay. What's your name?
Name? Derek.
Derek.
Yeah. Like, here,
No, está bien.
Muchas gracias.
No problema.
That guy undoubtedly just saved my ass. He gave me 3 liters, siphoned it out of his own car, was gonna just give it to me, of course. I guess the lesson of the day is don't say the tank's full till it overflows. Normally in the US, I check the amount of gallons I put in against the amount of gallons I've used. But without doing the math here, and I guess I'm gonna have to start doing the math or overflowing the tank. You know, the pump of course is in liters, so if it says I've used 2 gallons and it puts in some liters, I don't always cross-reference that. Welcome to Baja. Welcome to the f***ing rock garden. You cross this goddamn wash multiple times on this trip, so enjoy it. Oh, shit. That's how fast. What the f even happened there? I don't know. This is not going particularly well, is it? Like, seriously, what was the deal with that situation? Okay, it's the goddamn river again. It is really pretty back in here, but I'm tired of crossing this river. Rancho El Aguaito. I'm not sure, I guess, are these goats? Is the rancho? Or I don't think there's a road there, is there? I mean, at least there was some more properties out across here. I don't know if they would have had gas. Oh, where's the road? Oh boy, I've had to take it down a notch for my own safety. Oh, I'm starting to get, I'm actually wore out. I'm past wore out, but I'm fine. You know, we tell ourselves that. Went ahead and put Mulege in my Google Maps there. 20 kilometers out, which is 12.5 miles. It's currently 16:50, 10 minutes till 5. 7 kilometers from Mulege here. I've used 3.81 gallons, which is supposedly more than the bike holds, so that's interesting. I don't know exactly what's going on. That used gallons thing has always been very, very accurate, and I think it still is. So I'm guessing, had I not gotten 3 liters of gas from my Hombre, I would be out of gas due to my having to backtrack earlier today. What was it? Was it 16 miles that I did extra because I went in there about 8, came back out about 8? So yeah, that little tiny bit of backtracking was gonna hose me. Well, on top of the fact that I apparently didn't get my tank full in San Ignacio. I was in a huge hurry in San Ignacio because I was trying to get down to the damn whale watching thing, and I pulled in there, got gas, gave him cash real quick, and got out of there and didn't pay a lot of attention. And that's what happens when you get in a hurry and you get sloppy, I guess. Oh, hey, is this pavement? Oh my gosh. You know, as much as I try to avoid the pavement after riding like 100 and some miles of gravel, man, glad to see it again for just a little bit. Welcome to Mulege. Actually, I don't know what that says. We'll have to explore this maybe a little more sometime. Right now, we need to go find gas and someplace to stay. There's the MX. Get in line, I guess. Put 13.4 liters in it, which is 3.5 gallons. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can research and backtrack all that to see what happened, but it's full now. So we're gonna pull in here to this Airbnb. I don't know, it's called Indy Park. I'm gonna pull in here and see if they have availability. Let's see what this says. Made it to Indy Park here. Got room 1 or whatever you want to call this. It's kind of an interesting place. 900 pesos per night, which I think is fair. I mean, there's kitchen facilities, of course, showers and bathrooms and all that stuff. There's a pool, which is empty, but I don't think you'd want to go swimming in it anyway right now. Since I'd gotten in late, I wanted to take a day off and visit Mulege. I drove back into town, which is located in quite a pretty oasis. One of the big things I wanted to do, of course, was go up and visit a historical mission. It was founded by the Jesuits in 1705, and construction of the stone church began in 1766. It has a similar history to a lot of the missions on Baja. It was started by the Jesuits, took over by the Franciscans for a brief period, and finally abandoned by the Dominicans. Several sources cite the mission operated until 1828, when it was abandoned due to population decline, partially caused by disease as well as natural disasters that had taken its toll in the area over the recent years. Today, a lot of the exterior has been restored and maintained, but the interior is just an empty shell. After checking out the mission and enjoying the views of Mulege, I took the obligatory drive down to the beach. I think you can camp here for free. A few RVs were down there anyway. We about had another crisis. I'm about to run out of pesos, and I expected there to be a way to get those here in Mulege, but barely. I'd heard this ATM didn't work, so I went to OXXO to try to get cash back, and the machine wouldn't let me. Luckily, for some reason, also this would not take my debit card, so I had to withdraw cash against my credit card, which of course will cost me more money, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I really didn't find a whole lot to do in town, to be honest, so I just went back to the Airbnb to chill for a while, kind of relax and enjoy the afternoon. Not a bad day. Good morning from outside Mulege here in Baja Sur. Beautiful sunrise going on behind us there. Gonna take off today, head down towards Loreto. It's gonna be about 45 miles of pavement to start off, followed by about 85 miles or 137 kilometers of off-pavement. So it shouldn't be too bad of a day, but we are gonna try to get around here as soon as possible. After a cup of tea and some rolls, whatever, these cinnamon things. Cinnamon buns. That's what we got today. Leaving my accommodations behind there. It's 20 minutes after 8 here. Gonna head towards Loreto. Had a couple nice conversations there with some of those folks on the other bikes. They were from Mexico City. Local to Mexico City, riding over to Tijuana, and then throwing their bikes on a truck and taking a plane home. Maybe that's what I should have done, but no, that's not what we're doing. Riding north and south both. coastal drive on next one here along Bahia Concepcion, the Bay of Conception. I'm sure I'm slaughtering that, but it is a pretty drive. Several playas or beaches along here that apparently you can camp at. See a lot of RVs actually on some of them. Got some situation up here. The situation is the car has not made the curve, I think. Turning off next one here off the pavement towards San Isidro. I think we're just south of San Nicolas, maybe it was, I don't know, but the road goes to San Isidro. Now we have two options. We can go clear to San Isidro, or we can shave probably 20 miles off and angle down across on a little bit of a shortcut. And I think that's what I'm going to do, is not go clear to San Isidro. Coming up to my cut across here from my shortcut. that term always scares me a little bit. Was that the road? Boy, that didn't look like much of a road now, did it? I'm not sure if this is entirely it. I think it all rejoins back there, but I mean, so far the road's okay. It's just kind of a cow path, 2-track thing. I suspect maybe, I don't know, staying on that main road might have been just as fast, even though it was a bit longer. Hopefully this goes through. Not sure what we're getting into. Feels a little fishy. This is turning probably less than ideal. It doesn't look too bad on camera, but it's pretty loose down there. Managed to get up that. I mean, if you can see my Garmin here, you can see we're probably only like 25% into this shortcut or so. So hopefully this doesn't get much worse. I mean, right here it looks passable. It's just obviously not a very well traveled road. I don't want to have to turn around, and I probably should have turned around when I seen it was a cow path, to be honest. I think this is the point where we evaluate the situation more on foot. I mean, this is the continuation of that road. I think it makes a switch back there and goes on up, but nobody been up this in years because there's a tree in the middle of it. I mean, it does go on right up there, and you can see at one time it was a road, because there's places here where of course it's long deteriorated, but a little bit of cement has been poured into these rocks right there. If it's already deteriorated to this,
you know, I don't think this way here obviously is a new route that people have made, and it looks honestly more passable. But it's like, how far in do you go before you decide you've got to turn around and you're because you don't have enough gas?
Another lesson learned, another failure, but you don't know if you don't try. I think, you know, a smaller, lighter bike without luggage, probably no problem. For me, my bike, my luggage, my skill set, gonna be a problem. Well, now I have a technical problem. The pin that holds this foot peg is broke in two. I don't think this is probably the original pin. Luckily I didn't lose anything. I have all the parts. The pin's just in two pieces. And of course the spring's out of place that holds the peg. I think what I tried to do is put the pin back in from both sides and wrap some tape around it to hold it. I mean, I do have some sockets, this Allen or that's a Torx, I guess, but I could put one of those in there if I had to. I got the spring really in there now. Okay, it's back in there. Spring's in there and everything. It's just in two pieces. So we're gonna go with the Gorilla Tape option, I think. Latest crisis averted. On to the next one. Like, where's my rear brake at? That's the next one. Let's get the hell out of here. Confirming that that was in fact a cow path. Here are the said cows. You can have your road back now. I'm off of it. Alright, let's load up the other track real quick here and carry on to San Isidro. To say the road deteriorated there, I guess it got washed out at one time or something. Stopped here in this one kind of shady spot, made a PB&J, take a little break. It is like 12:30. We are 78 miles into our day. I am out of water in my backpack, and I have backup water here. We're like 13 miles yet from Carambushi, which is just east of San Isidro. We turn kind of southeast at Carambushi, and from there it's another 70 miles over to Loreto, our destination, which, if math serves me right, that's like 160 miles. Yeah, about 160 miles total. So as long as everything goes okay, continuing to go okay, we should be okay on fuel, as long as there's not something whack going on with my bike. A little sandy potentially here, but luckily not super loose or deep or anything. Maybe we stop here, take a little snack break, have an apple, enjoy the view. It's way too hot in this blazing sun to be standing around. It's not too bad if you can keep some movement. Boy, the moment you stop, turning off here to the left, Carambushi and San Isidro is on that way. San Jose de Comando. I don't think there's much in Carambushi, but I think San Isidro does have a store, maybe at least. Steep, but plenty of traction. Oh, not where I wanted to go. I might have finally been off more than I can chew. I stopped here in this shady spot to have an apple, take a little bit of a break. I'm way overdue for a break. I'm still, I think I'm 3 kilometers from San Jose, whatever that really is, and then the road continues on from there. Been 108 miles today, and the first part of that was pavement, so yeah, this has been a little tough. Hopefully, I mean, hope is not a way to operate in Baja for one thing, but that's all I have right now. We make it to Loreto eventually. Maybe we camp along the way. I don't know. It's 15:15. I mean, we got time, but we've probably got at least 40 to 50 miles left to Loreto, and I have no idea what the road's like from here. It could be better, it could be worse. Found a tienda. Oh, what a savior. A couple liters of water, one of them's cold. And some basically vanilla Oreos, I guess. I'm taking a break. I asked the shop owner about the road, and this is kind of the answer I got. There's a neat mission building here in San Jose, completed in 1762, still operational and taken care of today, so that's nice to see. It's 1600 hours. We've got probably a good 2 hours to Loreto, which, okay, that's 1800. That's about dark. That's par for the course, right? But also, I'm at this point in the day, I'm kind of getting beat up a little, and so that doesn't help things. So we'll see how I feel. Who knows? I may just end up camping somewhere along the way. At least now I've got water. Ended up buying 3 liters because I don't want to die of dehydration here in the deserts of Mexico. Time is 18:03. Sunsets in just a few minutes, but of course it's dropped over that mountain there. Camping right here, road's right there. At this point, it's getting dark. I don't really have it in me to go on. I mean, can't really get much further off the road right here. I'm lucky to find a spot that doesn't just have a ton of rocks in it, so we're gonna make this work. Mountain House lasagna with meat sauce, 480 calories per package. Went ahead and made a nice good size PB&J after that because that's not enough calories.
I've finally cooled off a little bit. I'm not sure that I've calmed down, and I need to. I went 125 miles today, and that still leaves probably 25 to Loreto. It's 20 by air. Like, I can look at it on my GPS. I can't route it, of course, but I'm not sure if we're on or we'll turn on Carretera San Javier Loreto Road at a little place called Chula Vista. It's probably not even a place. I mean, it's on the map, but I suspect there's nothing there. That's kind of our next intersection. But anyway, yeah. I don't know what to think, except that I'm probably in over my head, and I get to Loreto. The plan always was to buzz down to Cabo on the highway after I get to Loreto, so we're definitely going to do that, assuming I get to Loreto. But yeah, a little much today for me.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's a little after 7 o'clock. This was the situation last night. Nobody came by all night, which is of no surprise because you don't hardly see anyone during the day. It worked out. I slept pretty good, I guess. I probably went to bed at before 9 o'clock. It's now 7, so hopefully I'm well rested up for the next 25 or approximately 40 kilometers, I think, over to Loreto. Hopefully the road improves a little, or at least hopefully I can focus a little more today. It's much cooler out. Obviously, it's morning, so hopefully that helps. I feel like maybe that was one of my biggest problems yesterday, is I just got super overheated, which is January. It's not even that hot. I had my coat vents all open, but I guess that's, riding slow too. And obviously, if you're going to be here in warmer weather, I mean, like, adventure gear maybe isn't the thing. Maybe like mesh gear or something, obviously. But yeah, and I should have just fully like unzipped my front zipper and everything. But I don't know. I just didn't manage it very well. And I think the other thing here, it's just relentless. You'll hit some short sections of smooth, better riding, but a lot of it is just truly relentless. From Loreto, maybe we'll start our trip on down to Cabo San Lucas. From Loreto to Cabo, it is another like 300 miles or whatever that is. Is that like 500 kilometers, 480 kilometers? I don't know. So wouldn't mind breaking that up into a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, and then hopefully get to Cabo. And then from there, we might resume some dirt riding. We'll see. We're off. We're close enough now. I was able to get Google Maps to route me to Loreto. 46 kilometers or 28 miles. This morning, packing up my camp and stuff, I already felt just kind of hot and clammy, and my stomach is a little upset, and I don't know if I'm just nervous or stressed or coming down with something a little bit or just making excuses. I don't know why yesterday was so tough. I mean, it really shouldn't have been all that difficult. I mean, I rode much more dirt from Laguna San Ignacio a couple days earlier, and I had a full day off the day before yesterday before I took out on this. Overall, the road has improved quite a bit, which is a pretty great relief to me, to be honest. Stopped here real quick to take a look at this mission at Los Paris. Fuel light's been on for 7 miles. According to my dash, I've used 3.04 gallons of what should be 3.8. I got 20 kilometers yet to Loreto.
It's hard to tell. Sí. Gracias. Well, it took 3.5 gallons when it should have only taken like 3.2, so it's kind of a little disconcerting. Where did that other fuel go? Do I have maybe a little bit of a leak or something? I don't know. But I can't afford to be short fuel down here. I'm gonna run into Loreto real quick. Just have a look at the city. I know there's a mission in there, and I'm sure maybe a little bit of a downtown area or something. Hey, there, how do I get my sign with picture with that? Is there any parking in there? Good sized beach there. Nice waterfront area. This is more of a town than Mulege. If I was gonna pick a place to maybe spend the night, I probably should have been here, but I'm not gonna spend the night here now. You never know. We might on the way back, but I'm gonna continue on down to LaPaz at least today. We'll see. After that, who knows? Just see how we make progress. Today is gonna be pretty kind of fly by the seat of our pants at this point.
Hola.
Hola. 30 pesos.
Gracias.
Que te vaya muy bien.
Pretty cool missionary here in Loreto. Dated 1697 on the front of it there. Taking a chance on Subway here in Mexico. 163 pesos, which is like $9 for the combo here. Never had this. It's like a sparkling apple juice, I think. Was able to get my order in pretty easy. Numero 7 with lechuga and tomatoes, however you say that. Doritos. It's still Doritos here. So the dash says we've used 1.47 gallons. We put in 5.66 liters, which is 1.49 gallons, almost 1.5. So just pretty close.
snack time. Whatever this stuff is, I have no idea, but I'm sure it'll be all right. I had to stop at Walmart, get a few groceries. Makes me feel right at home. It's 5:15 here, 17:15. Headed into LaPaz. Gonna try to go to a place where I can camp, actually, which sounds kind of weird in town, but as long as there's availability, it'll work out all right. Now, what happens here with this traffic situation? I don't really know if this is a lane, to be honest. Montana. You guys?
North Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're both a long ways from home then.
You need to speak
Camping?
I think this is
per night.
Just one.
Just one. It's one night?
One night.
Yeah. It's 200.
200 people.
Yeah.
Go.
Time to the Jeep.
Park where?
Just near to the Jeep. Next to the Jeep.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Peace Center LaPaz. Despite the fact it's pretty much at capacity, it was a good place to stay. Paid 200 pesos or about $11.50, but it has good facilities, toilets and showers of course, plenty of hot water, community kitchen, and a nice relaxation area. Once I got settled in, I took a stroll on down to the Malecon. It's only about 15 minutes down there, so a good location for that as well. Gracias. Leaving the Peace Center behind there. Almost forgot this was a one-way street.
Buenos días.
Hola, buenos dias.
Hello, my friend. How you doing?
Premium,
Premium? How much?
full. $11.55 liters to gallons. So 3.05 and it said 2.8. So again, a little bit of a discrepancy versus the dash. Is my computer off on the bike, or is it the meter not dispensing as much as it says it is? Would I be allowed to pull over there and get my picture by those? Probably not. Kind of want to, but
See Cortez here, of course. Lots of restaurants and stuff here on the waterfront. Lots of seafood in this town, which I'm not a fan of, really. But if that is your thing, then great opportunity for that. Before I leave LaPaz, I'm gonna run in here to this grocery store, supermarket, hypermarket, whatever the hell it is. Supposedly there's an ATM in here that's in my ATM network that should charge no fees. Last time I tried this, the ATM had no cash in it. For some reason that didn't work. Two ATMs, BA Norte, which should be an all-point ATM, just totally rejected it. The other ATM, which I got to the point where it was going to charge me 23 pesos or whatever commission, which is fine. That's like $1.50 or less, I don't know. But then it just said no. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is. So yeah, I guess we continue on to Cabo San Lucas and try there. I mean, I still got enough pesos, but I will need more before I go back north. And I want to avoid using my credit card to get a cash advance because they charge me like extra $10 to do that. And then of course immediately also start charging me interest, which I can just pay it immediately, which is what I did last time, but still it's unnecessary when I have a debit card. Push you this way or this way?
Reversa.
This way. Gracias. No. Need a hill. Hey.
I usually do it.
But you
Hola,
don't.
amigo.
Hola. No. Ahorita viene un amigo a auxiliarme. Ya viene.
¿No tiene cables?
No traje los cables. Lo que pasa es que yo sí me di cuenta en la mañana que no andaba carbando, pero digo, vivo cerquita aquí.
Adios. Headed out of LaPaz here. Today's going to be a fairly short run for me, a little over 100 miles, about 170 kilometers on MEX 19 down to Cabo San Lucas. That'll get me there in plenty of time to do some looking around and enjoy the afternoon. Now, given the extra time that I had, I wish I would have pulled into Todos Santos on the way. Heard good things about it afterwards, but didn't think to stop there and ended up leaving Cabo San Lucas a different direction, so I never made it, but it might be worth checking out. That'll work.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, that is Lara. I guess she was communicating with you, right?
Yes.
And then you will need some place to
Just a
build
tip.
tents. Yeah, I think like you can make that like more flat or whatever, rake a little bit, so you can have that.
That's fine. Got my camping arrangements made here in Cabo. Gonna go around the block, grab some tacos. I think this is day 10 of the trip. I'm gonna take this opportunity to go do my laundry. I have changed my underwear and socks a few times if it makes you feel any better. But I would like to get this refreshed before I head back north.
Hola. It's gonna be all together.
All together. Yeah.
Okay. Gonna be 140 pesos.
So yeah, they just do your laundry for you. 140 pesos for my bag of clothes, which I could have had more. I gave him the shirt off my back because I literally only have 2 shirts, and I'd like to have them both cleaned. Yeah.
For your wife.
I don't have a wife,
No
so
wife?
we don't have to worry about
Me
that.
fucking wife, only money. Me
Yeah.
no wife. Me only me.
Massage, amigo?
Hola.
You ready?
I gotta get away from the port. I'm being offered sex and drugs frequently. Got my clothes back so I can go put a shirt and pants on now and look like a normal tourist, I guess.
Tiene como de Hulk, ¿verdad?
Sí, 2 por 18.
Bueno, me da 2.
Pues ya lo pusiste.
Good evening from mi casa in Cabo San Lucas. There's mosquitoes out and they're biting. First time I've ran into those, so I'm staying in here. You'll have to excuse the background music if you can hear that. I am basically in somebody's backyard right behind a restaurant, which does close at 10, so hopefully things will calm down. It's not particularly ruckus or anything, they're just playing music, so it's all good. Spent the afternoon just wandering around the marina and the beach area, checking that out, knocked out my laundry, and then went back down there this evening to kind of roam around a little bit more. It is obviously very touristy, lots of boat traffic down there and stuff, but overall didn't excite me too much. It got kind of annoying after a while, especially this evening. I got offered drugs quite frequently, so eventually I went a few blocks away and had supper. The smash burger and fries, which was very good. Paid, forget the Mexican pesos, but it was basically 20 bucks US. I had tacos for lunch, so I didn't want that again. The restaurant, which is like right out my back door, is a pizza place, wood-fired pizza. And if I hadn't just had that the other night, I probably would have tried that out. So the plan tomorrow is get up in the morning, pack up. Then we're going to go on a little boat tour. Not too big of a one, but it should be kind of cool to see some of the marine life maybe.
I don't know how much animals we'll see, but certainly some scenery. And then we're going to start up a route kind of along the Gulf of California, Sierra Juarez. The marina is only about a 15-minute walk from where I was staying, so I headed down there this morning to go out on the boat tour. By the way, I paid 400 pesos for camping there, which was the most I paid anywhere, and is kind of steep, I do feel like, but that's still only a little over $20. I just booked the boat tour last night with Esperanza Tours through their website, actually. There's, of course, tons of tour operators down here, but I just looked one up, looked pretty good. This is called the Lands End Tour. Now, they do call it 3 to 5 hours, and it's definitely not. It's more like an hour. It's a pretty basic tour. It goes out to the arch of Cabo San Lucas and Lands End, where the Pacific meets the Sierra Juarez. It's about $50. I got a little bit of a discount booking through their website. It's worth it for a little short tour, I think. Pretty neat views. They do, of course, offer other tours as well, and snorkeling is very popular out here in the bay. No. Let's get the hell out of Cabo San Lucas. Oh man. It's kind of a zoo. Made a last minute stop there to mail some postcards home to my family and got some money out of the ATM. Again, I tried a couple before I got one to work. I think it's a setup. You cannot get the free ATM to work ever. The other ATM that only charged me $2 US commission or fee or whatever, so not really a big deal. I'm just glad I was able to get some more pesos. I probably should have got a few more, who knows. I hope that's enough to get me home. Be on the pavement for just a little bit, and then we'll be turning off onto some dirt. Had some lunch there. To be honest, I do not know exactly what it was. I wouldn't call it super great. It's like $10. I mean, honestly, I drove by a KFC. I kind of wish I would have just went there, but that's all right. You got to try new things. Headed to La Ribera there. I do have an off-pavement segment marked out from here to LaPaz, or at least partially off-pavement. But due to the time, I am just going to continue on the highway up to LaPaz. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes up there, 140 kilometers on the pavement. It's 1600 hours. That'll put me there about 18:15 or 6:15, which is about sunset or getting close to dark there. So that should work out all right. Picked up some groceries here at the Superlay Express. Some meat to cook tonight, a potato, and some stuff for tomorrow. Leaving Peace Center LaPaz again for the second time. Pretty good place to stay, really good value for 200 pesos. Nice people there as well. Lots of other travelers, of course. So today we're going to be on the pavement for the first approximately 35 miles, 55 kilometers up to San Juan de la Costa. And then from there it'll turn to dirt, and it's like another 90 miles or 144 kilometers of off-pavement over back to Mex 1 at Puertecitos. From there, we will have to make a decision about whether to just stay on Mex 1, maybe up to Ciudad Constitucion, depending on the time, or there's an additional off-pavement segment that we could do. But we'll kind of play it by ear, as usual. My track record shows that I may need to expedite the afternoon a little. Who knows? We'll see.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown.
Jumped off the pavement. They were just outside of town, but I don't know about crossing this. That looks pretty deep right there. Yeah, that's very deep. Maybe up there it's shallower, but still, I don't know about crossing this. I suspect it's quite soft, and I'm not really keen on. That's still pretty deep. Yeah, I ain't doing this. I'll go back and get on the highway for just a little bit more. Well, due to the fact that water crossing looks between 18 to 24 inches deep, I'm just going to skirt around it, hopefully on the little bit of pavement that's left here. I am not interested in going swimming today. I already got my boots wet earlier in the trip, and they do not dry out fast. San Juan de la Costa. Pavement will end here. This should get us back to our track here. Let's just hope it's not a bunch of soft sand and water crossings in soft sand. So if we would have crossed that water situation, we would have come out here, back on course now. Looks like a good road right now. Don't let that jinx me, but there's a couple cars on it in front of me. Of course, it's hard telling how far they're actually going. Lots of pelicans. Passing through San Juan de la Costa there, I saw a building that said Miners Cooperative or something on it, and I assume that's why that road's closed. This appears to be some sort of ore loadout to barges or ships or whatever out here on the Sea of Cortez. A little loose there, but not particularly deep or anything, luckily, and this looks pretty hard packed here, so hopefully the majority of it will be that way. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh my God. Well, that was close. amigos. What's wrong?
Good pump.
Oh no. This is steep. So somewhere just behind me, not too far, I missed the turn up to San Evaristo. The road wasn't really part of my track, so I guess we're not going there because I'm not turning around. But yeah, if there's anything cool there, let me know. I'll probably never be back. Made it to Los Puertecitos. When I was planning this route out, there was some question on whether there was gas here in Los Puertecitos. Like, this station hadn't been operating, and luckily when I went south, I was able to check it out and see that it was open. And yes, it's still open, thankfully. Just regular gas, but it'll be fine. Arriving here in Ciudad Constitucion, it's basically 5 o'clock, 1700. Gonna cruise through town here. I have a hotel picked out. There's a few in town here, of course. It's a decent sized town. Gonna go up here and see if there's availability. There usually is. See, that's how you do stop signs in Mexico. Hola. ¿Cuánto una habitación for una persona?
$7.50.
Where's the one at? Uno?
El uno. Ajá.
Uno.
Uno.
Tres.
Tres.
Cero.
Cero. Ok. Es la 12.
¿Qué?
La 12, la habitación 12 abajo, donde está el camión. Ahí.
12? Ah, 12. Yes, okay.
Traes para acá los controles y las tarjetas, y es que entregarlos aquí mañana.
Okay, yeah, bring these back in the morning.
Ajá.
Okay. Gracias.
No entendió mucho, pero más o menos.
Got the room sorted out. A little bit of a language barrier as usual, but we were both laughing at it, so it's all good. 750 pesos, which I feel is pretty reasonable. First glance looks pretty good for 750 pesos, I'd say. Like roughly $43. Go find something to eat. I think there's a taco stand over here back by the highway. Taking a little cruise through the back roads of the town, I guess. I don't think there's really anything particularly exciting to see in this town. It's not like a big It's not like a great historic town or anything. It's a relatively new town in terms of Baja. So supposedly there's a taco stand right around the corner here. Let's see if it really exists. Guess she's waiting for me. Is it open? I don't think it's open. No. Okay. We need a new... Oh, this one right here. This is where I was gonna go. Gracias. Hard to beat a simple taco, really. 150 pesos with Topo Chico. So, when I ended up having 3 tacos. Enjoy the sunset from town. It is pretty tonight over there. Buenos dias from Hotel Paraiso del Valle. Getting ready to continue on north. The route will today take us about 100 miles, 160 kilometers of mixed riding over to Loreto. From there, it's another 125 miles or 200 kilometers of pavement up to Santa Rosalia. Should be a pretty decent day. Hopefully not too challenging, but still fun. Leaving Hotel Paradise behind here. 8:15, 7:45.
We could take the highway to Loreto, but what fun would that be? Gonna have a little off-road adventure. Gonna make a quick detour here before we continue on north to the grocery store.
You do get some kind of funny looks from people sometimes, especially when you go into a little Mexican grocery store that probably doesn't normally see gringos, I guess. I don't know. They're all very nice and not funny in a bad way, more like inquisitive or curious way. That is actually a really nice piece of sculpture.
Turning off BCS 1 here onto Los Cerritos La Calera. I think that says. I'm sure I don't have the right roll on those letters, but I don't think this will be too bad of a road. I mean, I think it's more just kind of a gravel road, which always glad to get off the pavement without anything too crazy. Looks like we're getting ready to head into a mud hole. Okay. Immediately, oh well, let's do the smart thing and take the bypass. I will say, this hasn't been the most visually stunning route so far. A lot of flat, straight stuff. This is actually the first little curve I got into for quite a while there. It has been a road that you could rip it pretty good on if you wanted to. I don't rip too hard, but it's easy to go 40 plus miles an hour. I mean, a lot of this, a guy could go 60. bunch of horses up here. I'm assuming those belong to that ranch area. This actually has turned into a pretty cool drive. It was boring there at first, but coming into Congregación San Javier, which is where the mission is located, and apparently a few people still live here. Restaurante San Javier Farm. Oh, they have an ambulance. Hopefully we don't need that. Ah, this is a pretty good sized mission. Wow.
Got a cold beverage. Always nice to grab one of those when you get the chance out here. I think we should be able to be into Loreto by about noon, maybe just a touch after. Knock some quick lunch out of the way there. Gonna continue on to San Ignacio. It's like 170 miles or 272 kilometers. Probably take a little over 4 hours. It's about 12:30 here, so I should have no problem really making that by dark as long as something doesn't go wrong, but it's just a bunch of pavement. So I'm gonna hit the road and go from there. Coming into Santa Rosalia here, what is now a town of about 15,000 people, was founded by a French mining company in about 1884 to mine the copper deposits. It is kind of interesting town. I originally planned to spend the night here. Just due to the time of day though, I've decided to carry on to San Ignacio. Might be interesting to visit though. There's a lot of mining history here. You can tour a museum and this old furnace area. Hola, I'm back.
Yes, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. I've been to Cabo, so just pick a spot.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Where can you look around on this side?
Okay. Is it, how much was it?
150.
Okay. Made it into San Ignacio and set up my tent at Campground Mauricio. By then it was time for dinner, so I made the short walk into town. Decided to try a different restaurant this time and kind of made an unorthodox choice to go with pasta and meatballs. I don't know, it just grabbed my attention. It was pretty good. 300 pesos, which is about $17 with the Topo Chico and the tip, I believe, so not bad. After that, I decided to satisfy my sweet tooth. The ice cream shop was still open, but about to close up, so I grabbed me a cone over there before heading back to camp and calling it an evening. Leaving Mauricio Missional, San Ignacio, the campground behind there. Today's route's going to start out with about 50 miles or 80 kilometers of pavement, 113 miles or 180 kilometers of off-pavement over to Bahia de Los Angeles. It's probably going to be a long day. We're getting a decent start here, 8:15. Looking forward to it. Should be a good one. Stick around. Go that way? Is that lane open? I think it is. Hola. Foggy all of a sudden. In fact, it's so foggy it's building up on my visor. Probably 15 miles of driving in heavy fog there. It's lifted. The skies aren't exactly clear. They're looking better ahead of us. Coming into whatever this town is here, I'm actually not entirely sure. But it's where we're going to get gas. Last town that we go through before we jump off the pavement pretty quickly. Wow, this place is busy this morning. Alright, that was easy enough. Now let's scoot over here to the Superlay Express. I think I stopped at this one when I came down. People are just genuinely the nicest. I wish I could film more of the interactions, but it's just super awkward to stick a camera in their face. The lady at the bakery saw me trying to figure out how to get these pastries, and she pointed and directed me to the fresh ones that are on the rack, not the ones in the cabinet, and explained, you know, in Spanish, but I figured it out how to do it. So she's got me all set up. Gonna grab a couple waters here and hit the road. What is this?
Buenos días.
Went ahead and had an extra snack there before I continue on. 2 liters of water from the store there, dirt cheap for that generic water. It was like 5 pesos per liter, which is 25 cents. Cheaper than the convenience store for sure. The cheapest thing you can do is if you can find one of the water purification places. A lot of times they're standalone. Sometimes the grocery stores will have them. All right, here it is. I'm assuming they've been dragging those down the road to smooth out the washboards. Let's hope that's the case. Now, from here, I think it is probably mostly, if not all, unpaved over to the Bay of LA or Bahia de Los Angeles. Looks like we might get into more sand today than we have so far. Luckily, we haven't gotten in anything super deep or crazy bad yet on the trip.
These are the remains of an old copper mining operation at El Arco. Discovered in the 1960s, the region supposedly contains one of the largest copper reserves on Earth. According to Southern Copper, a division of Grupo Mexico, supposedly they are going to restart mining operations here in 2027, and I did see a little bit of activity off at their office area, but otherwise not much is going on yet. Headed north out of El Arco, there is an optional side trip you could do over to Mission Santa Gertrudis, which takes you a little over 20 miles, probably about 35 kilometers east. I'd actually kind of forgotten about it. It was in some of my old notes from trip planning 3 years ago. It might be interesting to do, but I would have had to break this segment up into 2 days to do that. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about the state of the road to pass on, but I know there is still a mission building over there, and it might be worth checking out if you have the time. It's noon, stopped for a little lunch break, found a wide spot here. Good old standby PB&J on the bimbo bread. I took a look at my phone, and it's always amazing when Google Maps will like route you somewhere out here, and it says I'm currently 146 kilometers from Bahia de Los Angeles, and I'm pretty sure that is my route. I mean, it really is just a road. I think right around the corner here actually as well, there is like a ranch that you can camp at, and they may even serve food there. I didn't want to mess with that right now because I'm just kind of trying to make time. Oh, good. Did you come from Bahia de Los Angeles? Yes. Is the road about the same? No. No? It's worse?
It's more adventurous.
Okay. Have a good day.
Great drive.
Yep. side intersection here, turning kind of back to the north. If we were to continue on straight towards the coast kind of behind us, it's like, I don't know, is it less than, well, it tells right there. It's 14 miles or 22 kilometers to the fishing village of Puerto San Francisco. Not gonna do that. I don't need to extend this day. And I don't know, is there anything exciting over there? Let me know in the comments what I'm missing. We're gonna continue to Bahia de Los Angeles. Maybe I should have been complaining about the sandy stuff. Some of this has gotten quite rocky. And of course it's either uphill or downhill. And some of it's quite off camber and gutted or whatever. But hopefully it's not like that all the way to Bay of LA. Interesting change of scenery, but yeah, the road, not an improvement.
But wait, there's more.
My phone's saying I'm 34 kilometers to Bay of LA yet. So you're probably going a little different way than I came.
Yes, probably.
I bet.
I am in this place and go to this place. And San Ignacio. Look for San Ignacio. I come from San Felipe this morning.
Well, you know where you're going, but so I came from here up this, so you're going a little different way than I came, I think. Oh. Guerrero Negro is over here.
Exactly. And you come from this point.
I come from here.
Oh, okay.
I came from here. This is highway and jump off, but you're taking most of the way, and then I bet you're going right over on that continuation of this. This is Guerrero Negro.
Exactly.
This is pretty good for a little ways, and then it's going to get rocky kind of, and then it's going to get sandy.
Sandy?
Not deep. Not shallow.
Ah.
Shallow on hard. So hard sand, but loose sand on top. So no, probably no problem.
No problem.
No problem.
Okay.
I mean, I would say you're damn near 100 miles.
100 miles?
Uh-huh. Which is 160 kilometers.
Yes, my estimation. I go.
Have at it, man. It's an adventure, right?
Good ride, man.
Yeah. No, it's been good. I better not hold you up because I feel like you need to make time. So the guy from Quebec and his woman are headed to Guerrero Negro on most of the road I just came up. And I told them I left San Ignacio at 8:30 this morning, which they're going to a different place, and a portion of the road that they're taking is a little different than what I took, but they're still like 100 miles from there. And I told them at least 2 hours, but I probably should have told them more like 3 or 4. I don't know what they're thinking, but hey, I'm not here to judge. Maybe they can just haul ass. I don't know. I certainly can't, and I'm by myself. This is 2 people with luggage. So I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, and I'm certainly not going to rain on their parade if they're going to Guerrero Negro, because they can make it, I think. I mean, especially if he's a good rider, and I'm sure he is. He can make it. The road's really not that bad. It just gets long in the tooth.
Coming into the Bay of LA here, Bahia de Los Angeles. We're going to shoot right out of town though. Go over to hopefully a place where I can camp. Campo Archelon. It even has a sign. A couple signs.
Just one night?
Okay.
Where at?
I'll show you, man.
Okay. Well, we have got kicked out to the overflow area, which unfortunately this time is not in front of the house like I was last time. A table would be nice, and last time I was able to use the porch over at the house. Although we're just going to walk back over to the restaurant and eat. We're not going to do a bunch of fancy stuff. I don't know how soft this is. Oh. It's not soft, really. A little after 5 p.m., going to get my tent set up here. Sunset's not very far away. We are back in Baja California Norte, which means back to Pacific time. I was charged 187 pesos for camping out here in the overflow area. Kind of a weird figure, but they arrive at that by starting with $11 US and going back to pesos. Now, I know it is more if you stay in the main camping area with the palapas. Last time I was here, it was also just as full. You can probably get a hold of them in advance on WhatsApp. That's what most of the people use down here. After I got camp set up, I headed over to the restaurant, ordered the salad. Big salad, could have been a whole meal. And I also ordered the smoked pork quesadillas, which I didn't realize or actually knew and forgot that it comes with a small side salad. But I was pretty hungry, hadn't had much for lunch, ate it all. Honestly, some of the best food I had the whole trip. Not cheap, but reasonable for the quality, and the salad was super fresh. Leaving Camp Archelon behind there.
There isn't really much in town, so we're not going to spend a bunch of time there. We will be kind of passing back through, getting fuel. We're going to continue on north. Now, most people would probably go to San Felipe, but I will be stopping a little short of that in Puertecitos because there is a natural hot springs there. I've been looking forward to going back there this whole trip because I really want to soak in those hot springs. You do have to time it correctly with the tide.
Kind of weird. I have to pump my own fuel here and it's just on. Nobody ever came out, so. Well, that was a little bit of a weird refueling experience compared to the way the rest of this has went. Every station that I've been to down here has an attendant that pumps the fuel. There was nobody out there, nobody came out there. So I finally just turned the damn pump on and pumped it and went in and paid, which worked out just fine. So
I guess not every station is full service. I don't know. Just a bit of a detour here. I just about flew past that. I mean, there's like an arrow, flashing arrow thing that points you over here, but it's not even really working very good. And then there's like not a barricade to stop you from going beyond it if you just swerve around it, which is what I was gonna do. I was like, what is this?
pretty quick and easy drive on MEX 12 back to MEX 1 here, where we'll be headed north. If you continued on MEX 1, it would take you up to Ensenada and eventually Tijuana,
We'll be going just a little ways and jumping off onto Mex 5, which takes you up through San Felipe and eventually Mexicali. Most of Mex 5 is a pretty good road. A lot of the route has been modernized and some of those constructions are still ongoing, as well as repairs lingering from the hurricanes back in 2018. If you look around as you go up through here, you'll see some dirt segments that kind of go along the highway and weave around and seem to go nowhere. I'm pretty sure some of those are part of the old route before it was updated.
Hola.
Hola, buenos días.
Gracias.
¿Cuánto?
Full?
Lleno. Es cash only.
Yeah, that's okay.
No internet, ¿eh? Ceros. Ok, gracias.
Gracias. Stopped at the little store there and grabbed some groceries before I head down to the campground. Pretty good selection of stuff in there, really, for such a small store in a remote place that's relying on solar power most of the day. So they found us on the other side of this little water bay thing. You can see the palapas where we'll be camping. Good news is it looks like there's plenty of availability. Yes.
Hey.
Yep.
100 for motorcycle.
How much?
200.
200. Okay.
$200 or $300?
Pero question more goes plus 200 y different, you bring me 100 more.
Okay.
Me talking like this.
Okay, no problem.
¿Es 200 o 300 por moto? 200 o 300 por moto? 200, okay.
Gracias.
Got into Puertecitos about noon, had my pick of the place, chose a spot, set up my tent, had a quick bite to eat. Now you can certainly walk over to Aguas Termales, it's probably about 15 minutes. I was lazy, so I drove over there, got to enjoy them for just a little while, although we were on the brink of flooding here. Several of the pools are already flooded at this point, the tide is coming up. You really do have to time this right, but luckily I was able to go back later in the evening, about dark, and enjoy it again for a little while more. I don't think there's a single operational restaurant in Puertecitos, so I just had Miss Mountain House for supper and called it a day. Leaving Puertecitos camp behind here. Today the plan is to make it 334 kilometers or 208 miles to the U.S. border at San Luis, just outside of Yuma. And from there I will have a little bit more to continue on the U.S. side, of course, but we'll be swinging through San Felipe on the way. I don't know if there'll be much else to see, but stick around for the last little bit of the trip. After we wrap up, I will talk about the experience as a whole, outline the costs of things, and give some tips and stuff that I'm not an expert, but I'll tell you what I thought anyway. A little over 50 miles, over 80 kilometers, about an hour from Puertecitos up to San Felipe on Mex 1 as we parallel the coast. I'm going to take a quick pass through town. I just want to kind of go down and see the shorefront. I've been down there before. I was here a couple years ago. Now here's an example of paid toilets. 10 pesos. Or I don't know what that other one is, 15 pesos, but anyway. Lots of restaurants here on the waterfront. The Marines walking the beat with their clubs. You can see it looks like we must be at pretty low tide at the moment. Once I finish my drive through San Felipe, I continue north on Mex 5. The highway begins to pull away from the coast at this point as you head up towards Mexicali. Once you get north of the Biosphere Reserve, you can cut back east through an agricultural area. Eventually, I grabbed lunch. Shortly thereafter, entering Sonora before heading up to San Luis Rio Colorado to cross the border. I'm no seasoned professional at these border crossings, as you well know, and I've never crossed here. I've only ever crossed at Sonoita and Tecate, which are much smaller, much easier border crossings. My GPS sent me like right up a side street and into the queue, basically cutting me in line. Whatever, here I am. I have no idea what these lines are really for. I assume they're all for the border though, because they're all going pretty slow, so I just get a course in the easiest one here. And in places there was a divider where you couldn't access the two right lanes. I didn't think too much about it. I thought maybe its traffic flow used to be different. They've added capacity, whatever. I didn't know that the left lane was like an express re-entry lane for Century card holders. And you would think if it was restricted when you got to the canopy, maybe there would be some signage about that, and there's not. So I get up to the border guard booth, and he's like, "Did you know you're in the Century lane?" And I'm like, "I have no idea what that is." Back in the US, after a small delay at the inspection, I apparently was in the Century lane, whatever that is. I didn't even know that was a thing. Some sort of express re-entry thing, which I had no idea that I was in that lane because I came in off of a side street, and the guy even said he didn't think there was any signage over there about it. So anyway, I think I was just pulled into inspection because, you know, that's a little suspicious that I'm in the lane and I don't have that card or whatever, and also maybe just as a bit of a punishment. That's pretty much going to wrap this journey up for you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Be sure to stick around for a little bit. I'll go over the details of the trip, some of the highlights, go over the expenses of the trip, and just talk about it in general. If you have any questions specifically, be sure to watch that first and then leave them in the comments. Thanks for sticking around this long if you've made it to the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know there's a lot in there, but at the same time, for the length of the journey, there really isn't a lot. And I've left all parts that I thought were relevant and important and exciting, but of course at the same time, there's just hours of writing that you never see. So just keep that in mind if you want to do this trip. It does get long at times, especially if you're not used to doing journeys that are this long. It's the longest trip I've ever done at once like this, and it makes you think a little bit about it and if it's really how you want to approach things. Normally a lot of my trips are short, like 2 or 3, 4 day, few nights kind of things. So for me, this is kind of a long trip. Let's talk about a little bit about the statistics to start with. I called it a 16-day journey, and I was in Mexico 16 days. I spent 1 extra night there really. I really rode about 15 segments. The journey was 2,650 miles border to border, which is 4,265 kilometers. 810 miles of that ended up being off pavement. 1,841 ended up being paved. So that's about a 30-70 split. Although time-wise,
it was closer to 50-50. I spent 35.5 hours riding on the gravel and about 37 hours riding on the pavement. I rode most of what I set out to ride, but there were a few gravel segments that I did end up skipping, particularly coming back north. Just felt the need to make time, and the way those days were set up, it worked where I could do half a day on the gravel and ended up doing the second half of the day on the pavement just to get to somewhere by a decent time in the evening. So second part of my day from Cabo to LaPaz, from Iberia North, I skipped 45 miles of gravel. The second part of my day from LaPaz to Ciudad Constitucion, I skipped 60 miles of gravel. And then from the Bay of LA to Coco's Corner, there was like a 75-mile segment of gravel there that I could have done, and I opted to go ahead and skip that and just take the pavement all day that day. If I would have added those segments of gravel back in, that would have only taken me up to 37% gravel. I did ride most days, and some of those days were kind of long for me in some ways. And also in January, in the middle of winter, the days are relatively short. So some days were kind of pressed, getting somewhere about dark, and I don't like to ride in the dark anywhere normally, let alone down there. I mean, I just have the factory headlight. Well, it has an LED upgrade in it, but it's still just not very bright. And just Mexico in general, it's just not advisable to ride after dark, but your call. I did take a couple partial days off on the trip. San Ignacio Laguna was the better part of a day off, probably call it 2/3 to 3/4 of the day off. Drove down there, did the whale watching, ate lunch, and took the rest of the day off. And then I took part of a day off in Cabo to go do the boat tour in the morning, which was really only probably half the morning. I also took a full day off in Mulege, which looking back upon, I really kind of regret in some ways, and maybe it wasn't the best place to take an extra day off. I didn't really end up doing much. I thought there would be more to do in Mulege, and then I really ended up finding to do, but that's okay. It was a day of rest, and it's good to have some time off. In fact, in some ways, I probably should have taken some more time off, because really I did ride most all day, every day. Breaking down the cost of the trip, the majority of the money was split pretty evenly between lodging, food, and gas. I spent $385 for 15 nights of lodging, which actually sounds really cheap now. That's 4 nights in what I would call a hotel. I spent 1 night at Mike's Sky, which was $115, the most I spent on lodging the whole time. I spent 2 nights at Indy Park in Mulege at $50 a night. And then on the way back, I stayed at the hotel there in Ciudad Constitucion, which was $43. The rest of it was camping, which on average, I paid about 200 pesos per night, or a little over $10 US for that. To provide some context, I spent a little time in Baja 3 years ago, and I feel like while things have really inflated here in the US, the inflation, especially of lodging and other stuff in Mexico, hasn't occurred at the same rate that it has here. So it does feel like a better value now than it did 3 years ago, because a lot of these prices haven't changed. A lot of times also you have to keep in mind the per cost things down there around camping and lodging are per person. So it is always often twice as high for 2 people or whatever. But overall, I felt like that was a pretty good value. I spent $340 on food, which is all the food. Most days I ate out at least once, sometimes twice. I eat out anytime it was convenient. Breakfast, I always just grab some stuff from the store. A lot of my lunches were just PB&Js, which I carried with me. But between groceries, restaurants, snacks, drinks, all that stuff, $340 over that time period, which I feel like is pretty good. But also, if you know me, I tend to be pretty thrifty about things, so I don't do a lot of extravagant dining out or things like that. I spent 120 US on a little bit of entertainment. Didn't do too much there, but the whale watching tour, the little boat ride down in Cabo, and then like 65 pesos to the national park up there. Then fuel, that's the other big expense. Fuel is like $5 to $6 a gallon down there. It's more expensive than it is here in the United States for the most part, unless you're in California. Spent $320 US on that. My insurance for the bike, you need Mexico insurance. Most likely your regular auto policy doesn't cover you down there. And the last thing you want to do is be stuck in a Mexican jail if something happens, right? $170 US for a whole year of liability only coverage. That's all I did on the bike. The thing ain't worth too much. I'm not paying for full coverage insurance. You can get that for actual cash value. But yeah, I just did liability, and I went and did a whole year. You can do policies for like as short as a few days or 30 days. But the weird thing is, like, the annual policy is cheaper than a short period, and like was maybe like $20 or $30 more for an annual policy than a 6-month policy. So I just did that in case I go back. Who knows? You never know. But that's the other thing. And then your FMM, which is the travel authorization that you're supposed to do if you're there for more than 7 days, that's like 55 US dollars or something. I forget the exact amount. It's so much pesos. Of course, depends on how your card converts it. But and I could have totally went without that. I mean, you're not supposed to, but nobody would, again, like last time, nobody would have ever asked for it. But to do it proper and to not risk getting in trouble, you're supposed to have that. Talking about the things that I took on the trip, just to highlight a few extra things that I wouldn't normally always take, but you're gonna have the common things that I always carry, like an extra inner tube, my tools, my first aid kit, my Garmin, which has inReach enabled on it. And I did the extra tracking for down there just in case. You know, my camping gear, which is of course a tent, a sleeping pad, my sleeping bag, my pillow, that stuff. Carry a small camp stove, really just mainly to boil water in order to make tea in the morning, to make mountain house if I need it. You're not really gonna do much cooking on it, and I didn't intend to do much cooking on it. Some things I took on this trip that I don't always take with me included Crocs. That's the only extra footwear I took besides my Tech 7s. I took my drone, my camera gear, that stuff. I mean, that's usually with me, but that does take up space in my panniers. A light flannel shirt, especially good in the mornings or if you're riding at high speeds on the highway when it's chilly. Of course, I had a toiletry bag. Washcloth and towel. I have like a backpacking style washcloth and towel. Almost everywhere I was able to get a shower, and you want to be able to take advantage of that if you plan on camping. The first night in Tecate, I didn't get a shower, but other than that, I think I had a shower everywhere. A couple places it was just a bucket, but they all had hot water. On a shorter trip, I would wear the same clothes for the whole trip, but on a little longer trip like this, I do break down and pack a few extra clothes. Not too much, but one extra shirt, one extra pair of pants, pair of shorts, 2 extra pairs of socks, and 2 extra pairs of underwear. I wear high blend wool t-shirts, wool socks, wool underwear, poly cotton blend pants. I make my clothes last a few days before I change them. If you're high maintenance, this kind of trip probably isn't for you anyway. On a trip like this headed into the desert, you want to make sure you got plenty of water. I carry the 1-gallon cactus canteen from Giant Loop. It fits back here in this ox pox pretty good. On top of that, my backpack, which has 2.5 liters in it. That worked out pretty well. I do carry sterilization tablets with me as well if I have to get water from an untrusted source. But generally, it's not that hard to find water unless, of course, you get stranded somewhere. I don't always haul around a motorcycle cover, but I did on this trip. It just gives you a little bit of a peace of mind to throw over the bike, so it's a little more invisible. Although I felt very secure really throughout the whole trip, and all the places I stayed had like either secured parking or I was literally sleeping right beside the motorcycle. It's also nice just to keep the dew off, or if it does happen to rain. I did take a cable lock for the trip, which I have mixed feelings about hauling that around. I don't really felt like I needed it for anything. I didn't really even use it. If you were parking on street parking or something, I might feel like that was a more important thing. The hotels all felt fine. I mean, I really only stayed in one proper hotel. I mean, Mike Sky is very secure. It's in the middle of nowhere and you can park in the courtyard. 2 things I didn't take. One, sometimes was almost a problem. The other one I don't regret. I didn't take any extra fuel. That almost stranded me once. Another day was pretty darn close. So that's something, of course, to think about. You probably already thought about that. The one thing I didn't take, and a lot of people probably suggest you to take, is this chair that I'm sitting in. And I don't regret not taking it because it takes up space. I'm already carrying a lot of stuff. I'm spending
most of my nights in developed campgrounds that have tables or something. You know, I spent one night wild camping, and a lot of times by the end of the day anyway, I'm ready to get in my tent and lay down. I can lay down in my tent, watch something on my phone or whatever if I don't want to sit outside. I'm not gonna sit around and socialize with people. I mean, I'm by myself. You know, if you're riding with a group and you want to hang out at the end of the day, especially if the daylight is longer, and you know, maybe you want to take a chair. But for me, not taking a chair was a smart decision. The last thing to talk about with my experience is the safety and security. Now, some things have happened since I got back. In the 2 weeks, basically, since I've been home, there has been some cartel incidents.
El Mencho was one of the most wanted men in Mexico and the U.S.
The battle against drug cartels has kicked up a worrying wave of violence.
Tonight, fear continues to brace many parts of Mexico.
I feel like Baja is somewhat isolated in its issues from mainland. Now, that's not going to be 100%. You know, you can't ever guarantee anything, but during the trip that I was there, I felt very safe. I never had any sort of incidents. The people were all super friendly and nice and helpful. I didn't have anything that really even felt suspicious or weird. The checkpoints were all very relaxed. Now, that's probably different right now because, like I said, there's been some incidents. This video is probably going to come out pretty quickly after that's occurred. So, you know, it is Mexico. I feel like there is always some level of risk of cartel issues there, but I feel like those risks on Baja are not as elevated as mainland Mexico. Baja California, the north part of the peninsula, does have a reconsidered travel warning, I think, and the south part is exercise caution or whatever, which is a less elevated risk. That pretty well wraps up what I have to say about my experience down there. Just a few final things to think about for you, and even for myself if I were to go back, is a solo trip the right way to do it? And I think for me, the answer generally for that is yes, because I'm not a very social person. And also I like to be able to go at my own pace. I don't want to have to necessarily follow a rigid agenda. I don't want to have to feel like I've got to keep up with somebody. I don't want to have to necessarily meet a deadline. Also, of course, when you're filming, you kind of need to be by yourself or you're holding people up and it just takes time and things like that. Something to think about maybe if you need some more camaraderie in your experience, maybe a little more security, a little less worrying about the logistics of things, is to go on one of the guided tours with a nice light bike where you don't have to carry all your luggage. You got somebody in a van taking all your junk from one town to the next for you, and got somebody else worrying about where you're staying and all that stuff. I think that could be a good option for a lot of people. I'm just not sure that's where I'm at with things. Trust me, there's a lot of times it would be nice not to have the luggage and to have a lighter bike. That's certainly a good point of conversation if you're riding a bunch of off-road. I mean, even right now, I have my panniers. I almost always ride with my panniers, but they're not crammed full of crap right now like they were on that trip. And even just not having them full of stuff makes a world of difference on how this bike handles. So, you know, that's something to think about. There's also, you know, considering the option of riding maybe one way. I think that's an interesting option, whether it's taking your own bike or going on a supported ride, is either flying down to Cabo and riding north, or riding to Cabo and flying back, putting the bike on a truck or whatever. I did cover some areas twice on my journey, although the way I had it laid out, I certainly would have missed some things had I only rode one way, but you're still going to have a lot of experience and a lot of cool things if you do just choose to ride it one way. Going back, if I had my choice, would I take a different bike? Now that's an interesting question because I don't really have a choice. This is the only bike that I have, right? Is it the best bike for this trip or any trip for that matter? I mean, probably not. Everything about it is a compromise, right? It's a 13-year-old bike for one thing. I'm not sure how relevant that is. It has 37,000 miles on it. I think, you know, the technology in it is a little bit outdated, probably, right? I mean, if I was to complain about anything, it would be the suspension. And,
you know, I suppose those are things that you can work on. This is kind of an oddball bike, but I mean, the front forks, I mean, are probably pretty standard. You could do some stuff with those. Obviously, the advantage of a lighter bike would come into play a lot in riding some of that off-road stuff. I did have to skip that segment beyond Mike's Sky. That's really the one big thing that I skipped, that potentially I missed out on some of the true Baja experience there, right? I mean, I was still able to substitute that with a gravel day, but I mean, I wasn't able to continue on that portion of the Baja 1000 back there. And I mean, probably, like I said during that video, a person who had more riding experience could probably got through it on this bike, but it was too much for me there. I think the other thing you have to keep in mind is I rode this in late January, early February. Obviously, time of year is going to make a big difference down there weather-wise. The weather was pretty good for me the whole time. I never really had any rain of any amount to speak of. Some of the days were kind of cloudy, which wasn't necessarily a problem. It certainly made things cooler. It doesn't always make for the best looking videos, but temperature-wise, it was nice. I hope I was able to provide some additional useful information there, and I hope you found the video entertaining and useful itself. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments down below. I'll try to answer them all. If you enjoyed the video, do me a little favor, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. I basically don't make any money off these videos, certainly not even enough to pay for the crap that I tear up. So anything that helps promote them is helpful to me. Thanks for joining me, I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one. Is that airplane gonna interfere with my... Can you hear the airplane? Oh, I come to the middle of the desert where there's nobody, and there's a damn airplane. I know you can hear that. It's got to be a military jet. In my day-to-day life, I'm a pretty regular drinker of brewed iced tea, and that's just not something you find in Mexico. So we have stopped at the first Circle K. Seriously, no iced tea. What are the odds? I mean, the dispenser's there's just nothing in it. We're gonna make one more attempt at obtaining refreshment. Looking at the size of this station, I have a few doubts already, but we'll go see.